Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Granger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real-person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
Staying alive. Feel the city breaking and everybody shaking. We're staying alive.
Staying alive. We are staying alive. The Dodger Blue is going to a Game 5. Greg Bergman, Andy Kamenetsky with you at 7 o'clock in the morning, buddy.
Wake up, you sexy Dodger fans.
That's
Your
right.
team is still alive.
Look at that.
You
Look
are
at
beautiful.
that. For all of you out there constantly tweeting me during the game and after Game 3, oh, it's over, it's all over, it's all over. And we just kept telling you, no, it's until they have 3 wins, this series is not over. We're going to Game 5, baby. Yep. That's what's happening right now. Andy, I am so fully jacked up on a red eye. I got 3 shots of espresso inside my coffee, and I'm ready to go.
You are like Dave Roberts calling a bullpen game. You are not screwing around.
No, that's right. Hey,
you are not screwing around.
Pulled all the right buttons. And this is the fire and the passion that you've always wanted out of the Dodger fans, right? Out of the Dodger players. It's all about the fire and the passion.
It's my understanding that Dave Roberts screamed at every player after every single at-bat, in between every single inning, even when they did something well. Like after Mookie hit that first inning home run, he went right up into his face like, what is the matter with you, you dumb mother effer? Get your mother effing bleep together.
You know that he went up to Shohei right after that, after he just grounded out. Like, what are you doing? You're just grounding out
Slapped
for the first
him across the face.
Because that's the type of guy that Dave is. He is a yeller. He's
my
a
understanding
screamer.
that's what
Fire
Mike
and
Schilt
passion.
Hey, block in! Come on!
Exactly. That's what he's doing the entire time.
Yeah.
See, this to me is this is why it's all nonsense to me, Andy. The fire and the passion argument is just nonsense because all the series long has been like, oh, the Padres have all this fire and passion, all this fire and passion. Where was it last night? You know why? Know where it was? It was with a 0 on the board. It's because they didn't score runs.
Yeah. All of this is contextual. And the reality is one team has one personality. The Padres are the brash bleep talkers. And then you have the Dodgers, and they have much more of a reserved, we've been there before, we're going to do it again personality. If it turns out the Dodgers end up winning this series, all of the talk about the Dodgers lacking passion, that they need Dave Roberts to be in their face, that's all going to go away. And you know what people are going to say? The Padres spent all that time talking bleep, and they couldn't back it up. If the Padres ending up winning Game 5, then we're going to go back to the Padres are the team having fun. They're loose. They're the ones right now with all the confidence, and they're the ones with the right personality for this. They're built for this, and the Dodgers, they're not buttoned up, and they're too buttoned up, and it all starts with Dave Roberts.
Yeah, it's all Dave's fault. We can get into a little bit of Dave's fault and all that. No matter what, I'm going to just put it right out there right at the beginning. If they lose Game 5, I still do think they move on from Dave just for a different voice in the room because you can't lose 3 times in 3 years to your division opponent in the NLDS. Just not acceptable in any sense, form, or fashion. But this series, Dave has done absolutely nothing wrong. And to go back to the fire and the passion, we saw fire and passion from the Dodgers in Game 1 because they won 7-5. They put up 7 runs. We didn't see that fire and passion in Game 2 because they put up 1 run and the Padres put up 10. In Game 3, you saw this fire and the passion in that one inning when Teoscar hit the grand slam and made it 6-5, but then they lost, so of course you didn't see it. And now yesterday, it was all the way through with 8 runs. You see the fire and passion. It all comes down to who hits and who gets runs.
Well, and who's playing well, who feels good about themselves. I mean, if the secret to all of this was just the fire and the passion and the let's go, you would have seen at some point Machado or Profar or Tatis, like the 3 main bleep talkers on that team, they'd have been yapping all game anyway, except they weren't feeling like yapping because they were down big early. So there's nothing that would lead to them doing that. Again, it's all the content. The personalities are real. Like, I'm not saying the Padres are faking this. This is who they are. This is who they've been, by the way.
All season.
Forget all season. So they've been the last few years. And over the course of the last few years, there have been times where people thought, you know what? They talk too much for a team that has their best players suspended, like Tatis, that's had some locker room issues, that brought in all this talent. They ended up having to ship out Soto. There have been times when people wondered, do they talk too much?
Well, that's the whole thing.
For their own good.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing with Manny being Manny. That's why Ken Rosenthal wrote that whole kind of scathing report on Manny, saying that, look, everything that I've seen from Manny, I thought he really was brought them together in that seventh inning when you're down 4-1 or up 4-1 and really brought everybody together. He felt good about it. Then he throws the ball and it was just Manny being Manny. And now they wouldn't. The Padres wouldn't talk to Ken Rosenthal because he wrote that report, because that's all a part of it. Yeah. That's who they are as a team, and that's who they are as people. That's not who the Dodgers are. The Dodgers aren't that fiery, I'm going to get in your face. Teoscar is. Rojas can be that way. Some of them, and Shohei, when he gets a hit. Kike is, yeah, but it's not everybody. This is the way they work, and they care more than all of us combined.
Well, that's the thing. It would be one thing if it felt like there was a lack of passion in terms of it doesn't feel like these guys are fully engaged. It doesn't feel like they fully believe. It doesn't feel like they are up for this fight. That's one thing. And I've never gotten that sense from this Dodgers team at all. As far as just the let's go guy, Mookie can't fake that. Freddie Freeman can't fake that. Shohei Ohtani can't fake that. It's not who they are. There are certain guys who inspire their teammates through their play. And I have to imagine that Mookie, Shohei, and Freddie, they all inspire through their play. Maybe Teoscar's a little bit of both. Someone like Kike may inspire these guys, even though he's not even close to on the same level as the other ones. But he's good at just picking up the pulse of the clubhouse every now and then when you need it. But either way, guys are going to be who they are. And this is the same, Mookie was the same player that won 2 World Series as the one that seemed to be struggling at the beginning of this series. The same guy who was maybe too low-key in the eyes of some people, that's the guy who won 2 World Series, one of them with the Dodgers.
Right.
It's the same guy.
Yeah, they're the same guys. He was always going to do it, and I got a whole bunch of stuff that I want to talk about with Mookie specifically, because Mookie was somebody that I was very, very high on throughout this whole thing. I was, from the very beginning, look, let's all just kind of relax on Mookie Betts. I know what he's done in the past, but there's so many things that we've seen in this series alone, even in games 1 and 2, that made me feel like he's still the same guy that we normally see. But before we get into all that, Jorge, how are you feeling?
What's up, man?
You're a bigger Dodger fan than most of the people around here. How are you feeling after last night?
So I'll tell you what, I was excited. The bullpen did great. Vesia, I was surprised by Vesia. Vesia's out there. Banda didn't play yesterday.
No, Banda did play yesterday.
Banda did play yesterday. But I was surprised with Vesia. Vesia was struggling. Then they come out, talk to him, and then he gets out with that, pop up to the outfield, whatever.
Right.
I'm just excited, man. I've been telling you, there's gonna be a Game 5, and they're gonna close it out in LA, and I'm just excited, and I hope I can get a ticket for tomorrow. I'm still debating if I can buy a ticket, but
that price is going to be going up.
Yeah,
you guys were talking about it on Mason and Ireland. I think the get-in price was like $186. I can't imagine that it's still that low.
Yeah, you should have gone in earlier.
Yeah, got that before.
You missed your shot.
Well, I'm making money somewhere else, so hopefully that pays for it.
Yeah.
All right, well, give us a call to 877-710-3776, 877-710-ESPN, and we'll take all your calls about how you felt about the last night's game, how you're feeling about Dave now after an all-hands-on-deck situation last night.
By the way, at some point in this show, you just mentioned how you feel about Dave Roberts. I got a list.
Oh, you got a list?
I got a list.
Oh, I like it.
I'm going to reveal at some point that involves a lot of people at this station.
Oh, can you give us a teaser? Who are the people at the station? Maybe
I'll give you one hint.
One hint.
Morales is on it.
You just made the list.
Morales is on it.
He was. Did you see him last night? He was fully going in on everybody about the Dodgers last night, even after a win.
Are you tired?
Are you tired? Are you tired?
You're a hard-working Angelino.
That's all he was saying to us yesterday. It was just nonsense.
Hey, speaking of people in the station,
yeah,
Landon Knack. He looks like Josh from Social, right?
I've never thought of it that way.
He looks like Josh from Social, bro.
1,000%. That's who
Ton.
Landon Knack
He looks like ton like
we
Josh.
need a picture of Landon Knack and Josh Martinez and put it up on social and
Yeah,
say
exactly.
And then put me next to CT3 and who looks more like the Dodger.
Let me tell you something. In retrospect, Mace and I may have oversold the importance of Landon Dakota Knack.
Well,
we spent the entirety of Mason and Ireland chanting the name Landon Dakota Knack. And the guy ended up pitching 1 inning in the 9th with an 8-run cushion. We may have oversold this.
I think everybody in Los Angeles and probably even in San Diego and in the San Diego organization thought that Landon Knack was going to be the bulk starter. It was going to go Ryan Brazier because that's what they did the last game of the season against Colorado, and what they've done in the past is Ryan Brazier goes first and then a bulk starter for as long as you can take him and then go into the rest of the bullpen. That's not what happened last night.
No.
They went full force with a full bullpen game, and I really loved how they used everybody. How they went from Brazier into, was it Bonda after that? So it was
Bonda.
Brazier into Bonda, and then going into Kopech.
Kopech was the moment. My daughter had a volleyball game yesterday, her school team, and it started right around the time of the Dodger game. Thankfully, because I won't say who their opponent was, but because my daughter's team,
why not?
Frankly,
you don't want to call it a 14-year-old?
Yeah, I really want to use this time to humiliate a bunch of 13 and 14-year-old girls. But
yeah,
my daughter's team was way better than their opponents, so the game didn't take that long. So as we were going back in the car, my daughter had one of her teammates in the car, so they wanted their music. I'm driving. My wife has my phone with the game on it, and I'm asking her. It's right around the third innings, about to start. Who's in? And she says, Kopech. I said, oh, they're not bleeping around.
No.
They are not bleeping around if you've got Kopech in the third inning with a lead.
Yeah.
They are not screwing around.
I mean, you can argue about whether he should or should not have been in that game. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was the right move by Dave Roberts. And in a series of good moves by Dave Roberts in this series. No matter what you think of Dave and no matter what you think of his past, what he has done in this series is make the right move time and time and time again. There's a couple there you could probably second guess, but no matter that. Let's get into a little bit more of that coming up next. A little bit more about the bullpen, how they did, what it was like to have a bullpen game. Should they go into a bullpen game again for Game 5 or go to Yamamoto Flaherty? We'll get into all of that, and also your calls, 877-710-3776, 877-710-ESPN. That's all coming up next.
You just made the list.
You never have to miss a moment of LA's mega sports station. Get the all-new ESPN LA app.
Just search ESPN LA in your App Store or Google Play.
Download, tap, and bam!
You got 710 ESPN in the palm of your hand. Francis Coppola Diamond Collection Wines are a proud partner of ESPN LA. Cheers to the City of Champions, where game-winning jumpers and award-winning wines come together for the perfect game day pairing. Go one-on-one with our easy-drinking flagship Claret Cabernet Sauvignon, or celebrate like you just won the finals with our crisp and refreshing sparkling Prosecco. Find Francis Coppola Diamond Collection Wines today at a store near you. Francis Coppola Winery, Geyserville, Sonoma County, California. Please drink responsibly.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/LA to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA.
Everyone knows Earl Hershiser has won numerous awards for his performance on the field. But off the field, he's a great humanitarian, a true friend and partner of mine, and a real bulldog when it comes to business.
Baseball taught me to work hard and respect people. Rotolo Chevrolet does both, and that's why I joined the team.
Rotolo Chevrolet has been Dealer of the Year for 12 straight years. Like Earl, we know something about winning.
I believe they call that a dynasty.
Come see what the fun is all about at Rotolo Chevrolet.
Going through a life change, whether you're downsizing, you've inherited a home, or you're just ready for a change, Seller's Advantage is here to make selling your home easy. They'll buy it as is with a competitive cash offer. With Seller's Advantage, you're in control. Close as quickly as you want and do it on your own terms. Check out their reviews online and call for a no-obligation offer at 888-390-AS-IS. That's 888-390-2747 or visit sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy from Dell Technologies. Bring projects to life with the XPS 16. It delivers supercharged processing for enhanced productivity and freedom to express yourself. Performance-class Dell PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors deliver a dedicated engine to help accelerate AI. Enjoy free shipping, Dell rewards, and expert support. When you get a Dell PC with AI, it gives back. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play, like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tinted to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Color Collection.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
It was quite the night, AK. Greg Bergman, Andy Kamenetsky in at 7:16 in the morning. Because that's what you have to do on a Dodger playoff win to force a Game 5, Andy.
If the Dodgers end up winning Game 5, who's here at 7 a.m. on Saturday, and why isn't it me?
No, you're welcome to come in. If you want to run the board and do the show.
I promise you it ain't going to be me. I can promise you it's not going to be me.
And we will not be doing it on Monday as well, but we probably can do something on Tuesday. If they go to the NLCS, and that starts on Sunday at 5 o'clock, I believe. So if there is, I don't want to get ahead of myself. If there is a Game 5, the NLCS Game 1 starts on Sunday. Who's ever in it? But I don't want to get ahead of myself because no matter what, you now have to kind of look at what's coming forward. We'll get into the Yu Darvish bullpen game about what it could possibly look like a little bit later. I still want to react to what we saw from last night, and there's a lot of this bullpen game is a huge part of what they did, and Dave pulling all the right strings. The bullpen did something that I thought couldn't happen against the Padres. They struck guys out. They had 8 strikeouts between the whole list of the litany of relievers they threw out there. That's something that does not happen against them. The Padres came into the series as the team that strikes out the least in all of baseball. They get on base. They make it tough on these guys. It just seemed like last night they had their number every single time, and they had, I think, 8 strikeouts.
Well, obviously, a bullpen game is not the ideal in terms of the way most managers want to lay out a game. You want to be, and maybe this is more, by the way, as I'm thinking this in real time, maybe this is more of a regular season proposition as opposed to a postseason proposition when all that matters is winning the game in front of you and figure out what happens next. But the advantage that comes with a bullpen game, and you were just mentioning the strikeouts, is every pitcher you have knows I'm going 2 innings tops. So I can just throw gas. I do not need to pace myself in any way.
You're right.
I don't necessarily need to pick my spots, reserve a little bit more for this guy's coming up in the 4th inning, whatever. I know I can just throw my hardest, get right past the batter stuff, and I don't have to worry about it. Now, I'm not saying, because I know we're going to talk about this, that that's the definitive case for another bullpen game in Game 5. I'm just saying in terms of the strikeouts that you talked about and being able to do it in this game in particular when it didn't happen in the first 3, That's the advantage. All of these guys know I don't need to worry about the longevity of this game. I need to worry about this inning, maybe one more, and that's it.
It's how that works out. And they did a lot of that. They did the up and down thing where they would come in and then they have to go sit down and come back out for the next inning. That's tough on relievers.
Yeah.
To go longer than one inning for these guys, they're used to just trying to get those 3 outs that they have in front of them. They just want to go one inning, and they went multiple times. If you look at it, Granger went 1 1/3. Kopech went 1. Banda went 2/3. Vezia 1 2/3, Phillips 1 1/3, and then everybody else just went 1. But the fact is, you have to mix and match. Like, to go up and down is not hard, or it is hard. I have the sound of all the strikeouts. That it makes me very happy to hear. You want to hear the whole 145 of all the Dodger strikeouts?
It's very creative. I like this.
It makes me happy just reading this, hearing this.
Granger is trying to get at least 3 outs, right? Every time you come in, you got to do your job.
You got him on 3 pitches, 3 consecutive breaking balls to strike out Tatis. And it's Anthony Banda out of the Dodger bullpen. Anthony Banda's faced 8 hitters in this series, retired 7 of them.
He's got to really find each guy to get 3 outs.
There's one of them right there. Banda getting Merrill.
Good arm action and good late break.
Michael Kopech, the earliest he's been into a game this season. Dave Roberts knew that he had his top guys ready for the top of the order. And Kopech with 9-1-2 coming up is the play here in the 3rd. Right down the middle, 100, and Higashioka blinks through it. So Alex Vesia is the choice here for this part of the order. And he makes quick work of Machado. 2-2 coming home, swing and a miss, and Higashioka's the first out of the 5th. Big out right there for Alex Vesia.
Yeah, it was a big out. Padres can put a crooked number on the board as fast as anybody. And he made a pitch.
Danny Hudson's on to pitch this 7th inning, so Evan Phillips 1 1/3 on just 11 pitches.
When it comes to a disciplined approach. Now you're seeing what can happen if you.
So it is noteworthy that Trinan is in the game. It's the first time he's pitched since game 1 of this series. Machado's down swinging. Trinan finishes him off for the 2nd out of the 8th. So here is Knack making his postseason debut, looking for the last 3 outs of this ball game. Cronenworth's down on strikes, and the Padres are down to their last out.
So that was all of the 8 strikeouts from Dodger pitching. That, to me, Andy, is why I'm kind of on board with another bullpen game.
It's funny, actually. After the game ended, I tweeted out at Cam Brothers, F it. Bullpen game again on Friday. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Dave Roberts. And I wasn't really being serious. I was having fun in the moment because it never dawned on me that this would even be a real possibility. But then I started getting a lot of timeline reactions of, yes, let's do it. Let's do that. And then I saw that Dave Roberts left it open as a possibility. Like, it is not off the table. I'm like, oh, wow. Like, did I incept Dave Roberts? Did I pull
it was all you. It was all Andy Kamenetsky. That's
me.
exactly where that came from.
I put this out in the ether, and I channeled my inner Leo DiCaprio, and I incepted Dave Roberts. Because I'm not – this apparently is an option. I mean, I think Dave is going to keep all thoughts private until we get to the very end. I mean, Freddie Freeman said after the game that he was never going to be in the lineup. Like, that was pure his words, gamesmanship. I don't know how much it mattered given the amount of time that passes between learning that he's not going to be in it and in it. And
I don't think it changes what their game plan is that much. The Freddie Freeman part of it, like, obviously you have to plan for a guy like Freddie Freeman because he is such a good hitter. So, and what happens with him?
You have to plan for him for like 4 at bat. Like, it's not like football or basketball where the action is so continuous.
Right.
Like, I don't know if this really mattered at all.
And because of the fact that Freddie was out, that meant that Chris Taylor had to come in and get a golden sombrero and have 4 strikeouts. That was just horrendous, by the way. We really don't need to see CT3 anymore. I understand that I'm his doppelganger, but at the same time, I don't need to actually see him.
He did manage to play 4 positions in one game.
He did. He played third, center, and right or left.
Oh, excuse me,
three positions. So he went from center to third to center to left.
Right, moved 4 times.
He was all over the place.
He moved for every time he had a strikeout.
It's exactly what happened. Strikeout, move positions. Yeah.
Dave Roberts is trying to, maybe if I move him, it'll jar something.
Maybe that'll make him not swing and miss. And by the way, there was a time that he came up right before Shohei did. I think that was in the 4th inning that he came up and he was trying to bunt on for a hit and he struck out. That was was the happiest I've been about a CT3 strikeout in forever, right?
He almost bunted with his face, bro. It was so close. It was badly done.
You know why? Because he's a gamer.
He's a gamer.
He's a gamer.
I used my face to get on base.
Remember the Bad News Bears, Rudy Stein, the guy that would just get hit? And that's how he'd get on base. After a while, Buttermaker told him, just lean in.
Just lean in.
That was Chris
Taylor.
Taylor.
He got a big hit later on in the game.
Chris Taylor was willing to sacrifice that face if that's what it took because he can't hit.
He was just an absolute mess at the plate. But either way, I still, when it comes to that next game 5, why I like the bullpen game is because of the strikeouts, because they are able to keep all of these hitter off balance, and especially guys like Tatis. By the way, I think Tatis only has 2 hits in the last 2 games combined. So I don't think he's actually gotten on base.
Mr. OPS?
Yeah, Mr. OPS. That OPS is dropping heavily. Although it was a double that he got, it's still. The fact of the matter was you held down Tatis, and that's a massive, massive thing.
It's a big thing. I mean, he's very, very dislikable. He's really good. He's really good.
He's been fantastic, and that whole lineup is up and down is really, really good. We want to take a couple phone calls. This one, all I see is want to give Greg, and I don't know what that means. It's either going to be hell or his flowers.
I like it.
So I want to go to Dave in Lancaster. Dave, what's going on, man?
I just calling to give you your flowers,
Look
brother.
at that. Thank
Holy
you.
cow. Stand up, take a bow. This is your buddy, Dave from Lancaster. Yesterday, Morales had everybody riled up, fired Dave. You're the only one with the clear head. Hey, Roberts is doing not so bad this series. I agree with you 100%. What he did with Buehler, what he did last night with the lineup, it's crazy to say, but I think, like you guys are saying, if it ain't broke, don't mess with it. Maybe run that same lineup, but take CT3 out. Even when that 8th inning, that shot to center field, he completely misread that. He came in and then ran out, and the ball went over his head. Luckily, there was no damage, but something's off with CT3. But I would run everybody out there again. Kike, he came up clutch. Lux, Smith, put him back in the 5-hole. I got notes here. But, yeah, Greg, I'm telling you, you're like, you should be the assistant manager or something.
That's the first and only time someone will ever say that about me. So thank you very much, Dave. Appreciate the phone call. And yeah, they are going to pretty much do the exact same thing, except CT3, I can't imagine it's going to be in the lineup. If Miguel Rojas can't go, they're going to end up taking him off the roster because you don't need him on the roster if you're not going to play in Game 5.
He's not a pinch hitting option. Like Freeman might stay on there
The
just
roster.
with the possibility of pinch hitting. You don't keep Rojas on for his bat.
No, you don't. And also, if you want some of that gamesmanship, that's what that gamesmanship
I don't
is.
know if he's going to work twice.
Well, no, but you're keeping him on. If you don't start him, you're keeping there like, oh, you have to worry about him as a possible pinch hitter.
Well, I mean,
whether he pinch hits or not, he's there as a
It's
threat.
beyond the gamesmanship. Freddie Freeman is still somebody that you would put up there to pinch hit as an option. Like, he's legitimate for that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it goes beyond whatever making the Padres think about it. You actually could potentially use Freeman in that spot. If you can't put Rojas out on the field, he does not serve a purpose.
No, he does not serve any purpose, and so they'll probably if he can't go, which I'm assuming he's not going to be able to go, and they probably don't even want him to go with the strained adductor or whatever is going on with him, his groin or whatever it is.
It prevents him from flipping a ball.
Yeah, he actually. Did you see what he did on Instagram? He went on Instagram. Apparently, he was out till midnight playing cards. I don't care that you're playing cards. You need to clear your head. Do what you got to do.
Well, I mean, he's hurt anyway. He's not going to be able to play.
But he went. He took full blame. He was to put it all on Instagram. He did the right
Stand-up
thing.
guy, man.
But the fact of the matter is, they'll do that. They'll probably bring up Kiermaier, who, while having the same abilities with a bat as CT3, actually probably a little bit better because he can bunt and CT3 cannot. You have much, much better defensive prowess from Kiermaier in center field.
I'll be honest, I was surprised Kiermaier that he was not on the roster to begin with a little bit. So it makes sense.
I was too. It came down to CT3, Andy Pages, and Kevin Kiermaier, and you could keep 2 of the 3. And they took CT3 and Pages. I would have kept Kiermaier and Pages.
Especially because I think there's a certain amount of redundancy between Taylor and Kike. Like they essentially
They're the same guy.
Right. They serve
Kike's better.
Kike's better. Or look, let's just say you thought for whatever reason Taylor's better. They're the same guy.
They have both of them have postseason success. I just don't think, and we saw it play out last night. CT3 doesn't have it, so he probably will not play.
His face into it more this game.
Maybe a little bit more. We'll take more of your phone calls coming up, and I really want to hear what Andy has with his list.
I got a list.
I got to hear the list. So we'll do that and your phone calls coming up next. Greg Bergman and Andy Kamenetsky in at 7:29. We did it early, Andy.
Yes,
We're here early. Coming up next.
The LA Kings have a new home.
Hear the excitement of Kings hockey this season.
This fall, 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app is your home for every moment of the Los Angeles Kings.
Hear the excitement of Kings hockey this season in only one place. Easy to access, easy to find, easy to enjoy every Kings game and your favorite Kings podcasts.
710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Hey, football fans, there is nothing sweeter than a cold glass of Stella Rosa and watching your team compete. But Stella Rosa wants to make it even sweeter and hook you up with the chance to win an experience to the biggest game of the college football season. You could win 2 tickets to the game, airfare, and a hotel for you and a friend. Head over to ESPNLADreamTicket.com to enter the Dream Ticket Sweepstakes presented by Stella Rosa, America's favorite semi-sweet, semi-sparkling wine. Celebrate responsibly. Must be 21 or older to enter.
Mr. October? Ha! I'm Mr. Morongo. I hit home runs for good times. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Whether your ace is on the mound or in your hand, it's a win-win watching all of baseball's playoff games at Sideline Sports Bar.
Number 2.
Get a 1.79 quart terracotta pot when you earn 500 points on your rewards card, the 15th.
And the number 1 reason.
Yin Yang Twins, featuring Young Jock, live October 18th.
Morongo, good times.
John Ireland here. Let's talk about your smile and how to get you a brighter, healthier smile. Beverly Hills Orthodontics. Dr. Monica Madden, a top 1% Diamond Invisalign provider. Your smile is in expert hands. They have 4 locations: Beverly Hills, Studio City, Alhambra, and downtown LA. So check them out today at BeverlyHillsOrtho.com or call 877-7-LET'S-DO-THIS. That's 877-753-8736, 877-7-LET'S-DO-THIS. Beverly Hills Orthodontics.
Los Angeles, your Rams will host the Las Vegas Raiders right here at SoFi Stadium on Sunday, October 20th at 1:05 p.m. Come pack the Rams house to cheer on Kyron Williams, Matthew Stafford, and the Rams as they go head-to-head against Max Crosby and the Raiders in this NFC-AFC clash. Tickets are on sale now at therams.com/LV. Again, that is therams.com/LV to watch your LA Rams face off against the Raiders on Sunday, October 20th at SoFi Stadium. See you at the Rams house.
It's football season, and Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for all the action on the gridiron. With a game-changing rewards program, plus an amazing selection of tickets, Vivid Seats ensures that every fan can catch their favorite teams and players in action. Vivid Seats has you covered with deals that cater to every football enthusiast. And all tickets come back by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Just visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
I'm playing this, right? You saw what they did with the billboard?
Yeah, they had a video before the
billboard. Yeah, with that big board that says, "Oh yeah, LA." Yeah, they say they're not like us, but no, we're better. We're louder, and it just got the. Oh man, that's why I'm playing this.
We better have that not like us mentality on Friday in Game 5. You better be loud and proud and inside Dodger Stadium. Very, very necessary, especially with the guy against you, Darvish, who we saw what he can look like against the Dodgers on Sunday. He was lights out. However, there's some things about that, and then we'll get into your list, Andy, and your phone calls. There's a bunch of phone calls here. But at the same time, just for Darvish, just for 1 second, how I felt about that game. They had chances in that game. They were actually, when they hit him hard. It just happened to be that The Padres played incredible defense. You have to give it up to him for that. Mookie Betts had a home run that was stolen by Profar. I believe it was Freddie Freeman that hit a ball to right center, and Tatis made a leaping grab to take a double, and then you had Luis Ariz make 2 incredible plays at first base that stopped runs from getting in or stopped base runners in general when he's not known for his glove. That was a defensive gem from the Padres on Sunday. I don't think that happens again.
That's what I was going to say. Like, all credit to the Padres. They played incredible in that 10-2 game. Like, on all facets, they were outstanding.
Yep.
I don't know if they can do that again, though. Like, all of the different particulars that you laid out. Like, Darvish is the one guy that I could picture, all right, he could throw another really nasty game.
Absolutely.
But some of the stuff that you're talking about in terms of guys playing above what we've typically seen as their station defensively. Look, Padres have been pretty good defensively this entire series.
They're very good.
So is it out of the question? No. But that was as A+++ as we've ever seen this team. Can they do that twice? I have to see it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if they can do it again. I mean, but by the way, Luis Ariz, who, again, not known for his glove at first base, has been great at first base defensively. He made a couple of plays last night, that balls that were shot up the line that he made diving grabs at. Those are things that he's not typically known for, and he's been doing that. So you have to have this is very much a game of all hands on deck. You have to get things to go your way, and I don't know. It really just depends game to game whether it goes towards the Padres or for the Dodgers.
Well, this was actually a comment that I saw on Twitter to both of us from Laker_Weeze.
What's up, Laker Weeze?
He's a Padre fan, clearly. The Dodgers are going to lose Game 5. Dodgers can only hit Dylan Cease. Game 1 and 4.
No,
let the man finish.
Keep going. No, I don't want to.
They won't see him again. Bullpen games can't be planned for it. They're literal planning.
Right.
They're all they're the most planned thing in baseball. Like, nice win, but it all came together perfectly. Game 5 is back to normal.
Back to normal in the sense of they lost Game 1, they lost Game 4, we lost Game 2 and 3. So what's normal? If the series is tied in this series, obviously the Padres won.
Weeze, what the hell is normal?
It's just, but yes, Darvish is very good. It's going to be a really tough game. But also, if we get this bullpen game again, who knows what's going to happen there?
So we're going to talk about this more over the next hour and a half, but it sounds like you are already pretty sold on bullpen game again.
Yes, I am sold on it because I just don't know. Okay, here, let's do this then. Yoshinobu Yamamoto has faced the Padres 2 times. He got lit up in Korea in the very first game of the season. He pitched Game 1 of this series. He got lit up again. I don't know if you can trust him to pitch in Game 5 again. He's on his regular rest. He's pitching every 6 days. He's going to pitch there. If he does pitch, he's available. I get it. I don't even know if I trust it to go out there because he does things that I don't like, and that's home runs. And it's not solo home runs. It's home runs in all different senses. He can give up a 2-run home run, 3-run. All those things happen to him. That's the same thing how I feel about Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty can keep the ball. He can keep his pitch count down, and he can go longer than anybody else on the staff. However, he gives up the long ball. And when you give up the long ball in the 2-run and 3-run form, I don't trust it because it can come at any moment. The great thing about Clayton Kershaw for a lot of his career was he only gave up the solo home run, except in the playoffs. We don't want to talk about that. So
specifically to the Cardinals.
Specifically to the Cardinals.
And really specifically to Matt Stairs.
Yeah, so, yes. Oh, God, that was so frustrating. Just never pitched the 7th inning. They should have just never let him see the 7th inning. Anyway. Yeah. Because he gives up home run, both guys give up home runs and are typically giving up home runs. I'd rather have a bullpen game of guys that are keeping the ball in the park.
Okay, everything you're saying makes total sense, and obviously,
and the strikeout.
For the time being, Game 5 is what you are concerned about. The later comes later. You got to win the thing before you even worry about the later.
Right.
But there is the question of, all right, if everything you're laying out is true, if the Dodgers are going to continue in the playoffs, at some point they have to go back to actual starting pitchers. Like, you're not going to throw bullpen games.
You can't do that.
But you understand what I'm saying? Like, there is a point where it's like you got to start doing things the way you plan to do it, like normal stuff. And maybe this Game 5 is an exception. Like, you just feel like this is a bad matchup for both, Yamamoto and Flaherty. Buehler's been on too short a rest. You can't throw him out there. So this is like a one-time exception where you get out of character. You hopefully close this thing out. Then you figure out what is back to normal again against the Mets. But at some point, you do actually have to start trusting the guys on your roster.
So I'm glad you brought that up because, yes, you are 100% correct. This is a Padres-specific thing. The way that this team hits, the way that they usually don't strike out like we've seen for the entire series, except for in a bullpen game, the way that they just continually get on base and just move runners along and then have a big hit from Fernando Tatis or from Manny Machado for a 2-run, 3-run home run that completely blows the game wide open. That's what I'm trying to avoid, and I think the idea of the bullpen game once again can allow you to mitigate that in some senses.
Now, here's what's going to be really, really fascinating moving forward. At some point, Dave Roberts is going to make his call. Like Dave Roberts, Andrew Friedman, the Brain Trust, they're going to decide, are we throwing Yamamoto? Are we throwing Flaherty? Are we doing another bullpen game on Friday? There are pros and cons to all of this, and I think there are rational ways you could justify any of them.
Of course.
But this is going to be big decision time for Dave Roberts that is just going to end up like a microcosm and a Rorschach test of how everybody sees Roberts with decision making, because he's going to be charged with 3 totally justifiable, none of them great decisions. But if for whatever reason it goes sideways on Friday, I can promise you the reaction is going to be he made the obvious wrong decision.
That's
going to be the reaction.
He is managing for his Dodger life on Friday. No matter what's happened in the first 4 games, how great he's been in the first 4 games, the fact that he's made every single right decision in my mind, except for maybe playing Taylor in Game 3 instead of Kike, that was a bad decision, but whatever. That's it. Neither here nor there. It's already over.
That cost them the game.
I don't think it cost him the game either. No matter what, he has basically been close enough to perfect to have an amazing first 4
Dave
games
Roberts has
as
not
a
been
manager.
He has
not been the problem in the slightest.
He's more often, I think, been the solution than the problem in this series.
However, what he does, to your point, what he does on Friday is going to change the narrative for him all around.
Right.
If they lose that game, it will be because of Dave, like you said. It will be because of the conversation of who they go with, and when. If it is a bullpen game and he goes to the wrong guy at the wrong point because he tried it in Game 4 and it worked, and then it doesn't work here, you're going to look at it and say that was the wrong decision.
If he goes to a bullpen game on Friday and it blows up for whatever reason, it's going to be he went to the gimmick well one too many times. Like, you've got Jack Flaherty, you've got Yamamoto. Yamamoto's a $300 million pitcher, and you're going to a bullpen game in a must-win. Like, that's what people are going to say.
Never. So that's what I want to do. So tomorrow morning, before the game starts, every single person, that includes you, that's me, Jorge, it's Cappy, it's Sedano, it's Morales, it's Mason, Ireland, everybody, put out there right away before the game starts what you want. You want the bullpen game. You want the Yamamoto game. You want the Flaherty game. What do you want? So that you put your name on it. Put your name on what you actually think is the right decision, and then you can judge off of that. I don't want any of this hindsight nonsense, okay? Like, actually go out there and put your name on it.
Look, you run the show at this station. Is this a directive?
Is
this actually a directive?
You know what? I want it social. While you're sitting back there, I want a list from every single person in this building. Do they want a bullpen game, a Yamamoto start, or a Flaherty start?
This is the equivalent of Bergman calling an all-station meeting.
That's right.
Like this
is our content meeting right here.
This is Bergman playing big boss right now, swinging his manhood, and he's telling us what we have to do right now. He's giving us orders.
When you put out that graphic, I wanted to say, put your name on it right at the top of
Brian,
it.
my brother, Brian has to send.
Yes, he
has
does.
to send in his pick.
Clinton
He's
Yates,
here like 3 times a year.
Marcus Grant.
He has to send in his.
He puts in 3 invoices. I get him. I know. I know it's 3.
But Brian still has to do it, or you can't fire him, but he's fired anyway.
All right, we got a bunch of phone calls, Andy, and we'll get more into that. But I want to get into a couple of these before we go to break, and then we'll take more phone calls in the next segment as well. And we'll get to your list too.
I got a list.
Course we're gonna. Let's go to the very top here. David in Lancaster, really hot in Lancaster. Andy, what's going on? What's up, David?
Hey, good morning, guys. So, with the all-hands-on-deck game yesterday, what did you guys think about Jack Flaherty being ready to go in the bullpen with the tensions high from everything that happened in Game 2? I would have loved to see him go last night.
So you only pitch Jack Flaherty. In my mind, you only pitch Jack Flaherty if the game is tight.
Yep.
You will move to what you needed in those situations. You went to Knack because it was an 8-0 game. If that was a 2-1 game, you probably see Jack Flaherty.
It's certainly possible.
Yeah.
There was no reason that Flaherty pitched last night at all. Because then you potentially burn him as a possibility for tomorrow. Like if he pitches a couple innings, I don't know. I mean, maybe
no, he's burned.
Right.
He's burned for sure if you pitch him in at all. So the fact that it was 8-0 allowed it so that he can pitch on Friday.
There was no reason to see him last night at all.
That's full on hands on deck on Friday. So you'll probably see Flaherty. He probably will come out of the bullpen if he's not starting. So let's take one or two more before the break. I know we got a little bit of time. Breaks don't matter, right? Is that what the way it works?
I mean, for certain shows, yeah.
For 7 to 9, from 7 to 9, there are no rules.
We do what we want. So let's bang the phone calls like this. I like to say, hey, Nick in Dallas, what's up, Nick?
Bang the phone.
Good morning, guys.
Welcome to 1993 radio.
Better feeling today than Game 3. But three things I wanted to point out when I saw games 1 through 4. The bottom of the lineup is coming through, and I think the Padres know it's pressure for them to get them out because Ohtani comes up with runners on base. And I agree with you, Bergman. Also, you may want to go with the same lineup tomorrow and replace CT with either Niedermeyer and Paez. And also, what I thought was key too yesterday is I think Smoltz and Davis addressed it too, is that we shut the Padres out, but also they didn't get into any kind of groove knowing they were going to lose going into Game 5. It's kind of like if the Lakers get blown out in a series game, but LeBron or AD didn't get into a group going into the next game. I thought that was huge too because you put a little psyche effect into the Padres' head, like man, can we even get a hit off of them? So that's going to go into Game 5 tomorrow night. I thought that was pretty huge too with the Dodgers though. But yeah, I would roll with the same lineup come tomorrow because remember I think it was the first inning, Muncy had to run to the bag, and Freddie with a bad ankle and all. Although he could probably pitch it, and he wouldn't be able to make that play. But I thought that was a huge to go in with that lineup come tomorrow like they did last night.
I appreciate your call, Nick, and you made a bunch of good points in there. There's a lot of good things that you said there. The bottom of the lineup specifically was a huge one, too. When the Dodgers win games, the bottom of the lineup is really, really good.
I'm asking you this because I don't know off the top of my head.
Sure.
The Will Smith home run, is that his only hit in the series?
It might be. He's walked a couple times, too. I think people get being bad and only having one hit confused.
Sure, no, I'm not saying bad or good. I'm just saying, is that Will Smith's only hit in this series?
So, yes, that was his first hit. He did score 2 runs in Game 1.
I was going to say,
he got on base.
I don't recall Will Smith actually getting a hit in this series. Because when he hit the home run, I was like, wait, was that Will Smith? I was like, really?
Hopefully, also to that caller's point, the fact that Machado and Tatis didn't have that rhythm keep going, and they didn't get hits in the late innings and put up runs. Will Smith did. Will Smith did get hits. And by the way, Will Smith has 4 walks, and that was his first hit, but he does have 4 walks in the series. He scored runs in this series. So the fact of the matter is that he's getting on base, and that's kind of what you want. Guys like Tommy Edman is still batting right around 300. Kike Hernandez is batting 300. Obviously, this has only been his first start, but he had 2 at-bats before that. The bottom of the lineup, when they get on base, it puts so much pressure on whoever is there. If the bottom of the lineup can get on base for you, Darvish, to get back to the top to Ohtani and Mookie, who's been on fire recently, that is huge. And when that happens, they tend to win games.
A couple comments, one from Anthony Gaeta. Aren't you afraid that the Padres have seen the Dodgers relievers already and they'll be able to hit them if they throw another bullpen game? I understand what Anthony's asking, but to me, the Padres are going to end up seeing half of the Dodgers relievers regardless. Like whether you end up going with a conventional Yamamoto or Flaherty start or another bullpen game, half of the dudes in the bullpen game are likely going to be pitching anyway.
Yep.
So to me, it doesn't matter. Like do what you think is best, but I think the whole seeing them thing doesn't matter. Then from Mario Tovar, and I think this is a really good point, the fact that we're debating whether Friday's game should be a bullpen or a Yamamoto game shows you how much of a disaster the signing has been. Hopefully he earns that contract next year.
I don't agree with that for a couple of reasons, and we'll get into that a little bit. We're also going to take more of your phone calls. Greg Bergman, Andy Kamenetsky, we'll get into all that stuff next.
The most followed sports radio station in America.
710 ESPN.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
Hey guys, it's Cappy here, and let me talk to you about this issue of dealing with your homeowner's insurance. So your home floods, right? You have a big giant flood at your house, and you realize that the insurance adjuster is trying to pay you so little that you won't be able to repair the damage. That is when you call Avner Gatt. Avner Gatt is a public insurance adjuster who is on your side. Look, you can try and negotiate with the insurance company yourself. I've tried. You're going to find out very quickly it is not that simple. Avner Gatt and his team negotiate on your behalf to make sure you're getting the best possible outcome, not the insurance company. He and his team have been dealing with insurance companies for so many years. It's all they do. They've got the experience. They've got the industry know-how that you need on your side. Now, some of these folks used to work for insurance companies before they joined Avner's team, and Avner Gatt himself has 20 years of experience in this industry. Avner Gatt has one of the largest teams of professional, licensed public adjusters in California, and yes, the size is important. Avner has a unique winning recipe for handling homeowners' insurance claims. No one, and I mean no one, messes around with Avner Gatt and his team. Call Avner Gatt, 818-917-5256, 818-917-5256, or visit AvnerGatt.com. That's AVNERGAT, AvnerGatt.com. You call Avner Gatt, 818-917-5256. Avner takes the call himself. Hello!
Hey, it's Mace. There's a lot on the line in this election, from protecting the Social Security you've earned to supporting family caregivers. And you have the power to make the candidates listen, because voters 50 and over decide elections. That's why AARP California has created an election guide with the most up-to-date information about when, where, and how to vote. Get trusted election information at aarp.org/CA votes. That's aarp.org/CA votes. Paid for by AARP.
Come to Carden Alleyway Hyundai and lease a new 2025 Hyundai Elantra SCL for only $201 a month plus tax for 36 months. Or get 1.99% APR for 60 months, your choice. Plus, get peace of mind driving with America's best warranty. Carden Alleyway Hyundai just off the 91 freeway or CardenAlleyWayHyundai.com. Lease for $201 plus tax. License and fee to well-qualified buyers. 36-month lease, 10K miles per year, 3511 due at signing. 1.99% APR, $1,752 per $1,000 financed. Not all buyers will qualify. Subject to HMF credit approval. Expires 10/31/2024.
John Ireland here to tell you about my friends at Mirror Audio Video in Westwood. Listen, if you're thinking about upgrading your home or office with the best brands in the world, like Crestron, Nice, Lutron, or Control 4, it's got to be Mirror and no one else. Why? Because for more than 40 years, the biggest names in Hollywood, sports, and business have all trusted Mirror, and so should you. Want to learn more? Call 310-234-4010 or check them out at mirroraudiovideo.com today.
You just made the list.
We're talking about it, Andy. Greg Bergman, Andy Kamenetsky on a Dodgers playoff special after a Game 4 win. You got to be happy about that. Really makes me feel good. Let's get to a little more phone calls, but before we get to phone calls and we get to the top of the hour, Andy, you have a list. Jorge played the "you just made the list" thing. What is your list about, and who's on it?
Okay, if let's just say the Dodgers end up winning this series, maybe even the entire thing.
Yeah,
they end up getting the World Series. They win it all. There has been a non-stop conversation, forget this season, going back 2, 3, maybe even 4 or 5 years about Dave Roberts.
Yep.
And they got to move off Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts is the wrong guy. Dave Roberts can't win the big thing. The whole character of this team is defined by Dave Roberts.
They're not wrong.
They got to get rid of Dave. If they end up winning this series, again, maybe the whole thing, there's a long list at this station of people. They don't deserve Dave Roberts. They do not deserve Dave Roberts. They might not even deserve the Dodgers.
No, the Dodgers. You're going a little far, because I'm pretty sure I'm on this list right now.
No. If Dave Roberts, the man who creates the character of this team, that you said this guy needs to go. They all of a sudden win the whole thing. You may not deserve the Dodgers. You definitely don't deserve Dave Roberts.
All right, what's your list? What's your list?
List begins Chris Morales,
well,
who frankly does not deserve the Dodgers at all. Like,
it's here waiting for him.
Yeah, no, I mean that guy.
It's already broken.
That guy should just root for the Angels. They're in his backyard anywhere where he wins. He loves the bits, his precious bits.
It
and
was
the Angels.
It was unsettling.
The Angels are a walking bit. Like, you will never have more material than with the Angels, and he loves his Schadenfreude. So Morales doesn't even deserve the Dodgers, much less Dave Roberts.
Thanks, Morales.
Yeah. We're doing some Morales radio right now. Travis Rogers does not deserve Dave Roberts if they end up closing out this series. Moving on. Travis Rogers does not deserve Dave Roberts. Jorge, I'm going to need your help on this one because I think my mind's eye, I remember correctly, but you can tell me. Emily Hebel doesn't deserve Dave Roberts. If I recall correctly, Emily's been on the move on from Dave Roberts bandwagon. Am I misremembering?
They're still not wrong, but keep going.
Am I misremembering or am I correct?
I think you're misremembering.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Emily, you're off the list.
You're off the list.
Fine.
You didn't make the list.
Emily, if they close this thing out, you deserve Dave Roberts. Mace does not deserve Dave Roberts.
Ooh.
Steve Mason does not deserve Dave Roberts if they end up closing out this series. You tell me, because I'm trying to remember correctly. Laura Romo doesn't deserve Dave Roberts?
She is very anti, not for this series, but she was anti.
Laura Romo does not deserve Dave Roberts. And frankly, Greg Bergman,
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
Deserve Dave Roberts. If they close out this series, if they beat down this Padres team that apparently has the perfect temperament, they're exactly what you want from a team. You, Laura Romo, Mason, Travis, and whatever the hell you want to call Morales. You people don't deserve Dave Roberts.
So I hear what you're saying. However,
well, it's because I'm correct.
No, you're not. You're not.
Correct.
You're not correct. You're basically saying that 95% of Los Angeles is on that list and doesn't deserve Dave Roberts.
Look, I can't name all of them.
You don't know every person's name in Los Angeles?
I can just
go
name
to the 7
people
million
at this
people.
Station. I can just name the people at this station. Like those of you listening now.
There's probably more.
Look, those of you listening right now, you know who you are.
Okay, so then let's flip it. Hold on, Andy. Let's flip it.
Okay.
Let's say they lose Game 5, which, knock on wood, I don't even want to put that into the ether. Then what? Are we all correct and you are wrong in this situation?
I'm just talking about who deserves Dave Roberts and who doesn't. That's all I'm talking about. Because the goal.
Jorge, where are you? Are you on that list or are you off that list?
I think I'm on the list, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember, Jorge, because sometimes you get quiet during all this. But
I'm
Jorge Briones, you don't deserve Dave Roberts.
You just made the list.
You don't deserve Dave Roberts. Cappy I didn't include because
Cappy's a San Diego fan.
Cappy is
year to year. Depends on where he's at.
He's removed from
Depends
all this regardless.
if he's sitting in the back behind the home plate over there.
If memory serves, Sedano deserves Dave Roberts. I think Sedano has generally been Dave Roberts is not the issue.
So the biggest proponent for Dave Roberts has been John Ireland the entire time. Don't get rid of John Ireland. All right, don't get rid of Dave Roberts.
Ireland deserves Dave Roberts.
Yeah, he's fully on the Dave Roberts bandwagon. And when it comes to baseball, it's why I mostly feel like I'm right.
Okay, just heard from Dustin Bingham on Twitter. I agree with Cam Brothers. They don't deserve Dave Roberts. And then Rich A, Cam Brothers, I don't deserve Dave Roberts. Like, I love it. This is
Troy Lake. We have a troll fill-in host this morning working with Greg Bergman. Screw that list, Cam Brothers. I'm on your list.
Yes. You know what this is right
now? Most people are on your list.
I have started a citywide confessional.
Yeah, it's pretty much just what's going on right now. Go to Cam Brothers if you want to be a part of that list. But no matter what, it still makes a difference. He is not going to be here. He should not be here if they lose this series. You cannot lose 3 times in the NLDS to your division opponent in a row. It's just not acceptable for any team in Los Angeles.
Just heard from the vice president of the Handsome Man community.
Nah, don't read that one. Skip that one.
No.
I like that guy.
Come at me, fool.
He just put out a poll. Who's on AK's list? Me, not me.
Me. It's the best way to do it.
Yes.
And actually, I would like. Can we put up another poll in the social in the back, Parker and Anthony? Just put it there. Who's on AK's list about Dave Roberts? Me, not me.
Yeah. Because I'm telling you right now, if they close out this series, There's a lot of people, certainly in this station, but dare I say, citywide, the Dodgers are a global brand, worldwide. Y'all don't deserve Dave Roberts.
That's right. I don't care. If they lose this series, nobody should deserve Dave Roberts. You can go up to the front office or you can go somewhere else because you're not going to be the Dodgers manager if you lose. All
So
right,
best case scenario, you get a win with a manager you don't deserve. You will get a win that, frankly, you don't deserve.
Oh, I deserve every win. I watched every single game. I know this team inside and out. I don't care what it is. I still feel the way
Roberts.
he's made, no matter what, he has made, we were talking about it before, and we can do it a little bit more, but every single move that he has made in this series so far has been great, and he's going, no matter what he does on Friday, it's going to screw him.
Not my burner just tweeted out.
Oh, boy.
No one deserves Dave Roberts with a gif of a guy with like a machine gun, just like one of those like
just taking everybody
style.
out.
Yes, love it.
That's amazing. All right, actually, let's take a quick break, and then we'll go to. We're just going to go right to the phone calls right when we get back here. Greg Bergman, Andy Kamenetsky at 8:00 in the morning.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching
Does this have peanuts?
to waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A good karma brands radio station.
Hey, it's Mace. NBA basketball is 12 days away, and the best place to watch all the action is Cosm. It's revolutionary technology bringing the sports experience to life. Visit Cosm.com. Enjoy NBA action in shared reality all season long.
Hey, LA, let's talk trash. Food waste, that is. Tossing your food scraps in the regular trash sends them to landfills where they release harmful gases like methane. Fight global warming by simply sorting your food scraps and placing them in your green bin. It's quick, it's easy, it helps protect our planet. Ready to do your part? Visit cleanla.com or call 888-CLEAN-LA for more tips. This message funded by Cal Recycle.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
Dave Roberts texts me. He's like, "Yeah, you got to play this for me." All I do is win.
That's all he does. Well, I mean, honestly, he's I think the most prolific manager in terms of wins in history.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's exactly right, but it seems.
And the two of you don't deserve him.
It's such a nonsense statement. No matter what, he's been here for
A lot of
however long.
people agree with me.
All right, we'll get into your little narrative and your little list a little bit later, but let's get into these phone calls. 877-710-3776, 877-710-ESPN. Let's start it off with Chris in LA. What's up? Whoops, that's the wrong button. Let's put that on hold and we go here. What's up, Chris?
Good morning. Good morning, gentlemen. You know, I was hoping Morales was there, but
he's on a
Bergman,
train to
you'll
San
do.
Luis Obispo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is the thing. Bergman, you're the epitome of the definition of a fan, because Dave Roberts, did a masterful job yesterday, did a masterful job all year. And he's the, no matter what a player or a manager does, someone's still going to say you didn't do enough. He should be credited for probably about 10% of the games and blamed for probably another 10%. The rest are just the players hitting. So they could lose Game 5. Heck, they could lose Game 7 because the starting pitcher gives up 10 runs and the players go 0 for 30, and you or some other fan was, see, look, still didn't win it. You have to look at the reason that they don't win.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Chris, 100%. And I'm taking it series by series. And in this series, Dave Roberts, I've been saying it over and over and over again. He's been masterful in this series. He's been fantastic. Every move that he has made has been the right move. I have no issue with what he's done in this series. It becomes you have to take it in the macro view later and take it into his entire career history with the Dodgers and what he has done in the playoffs. There's been a ton of bad moves in the past, but right now he's been great. And if you lose 3 times in the NLDS in a row to your division opponent, no team in LA would ever allow their manager or head coach to stay on that team. That's just facts.
Can I respond with one thing?
Of course.
Okay. You have to look at what the actual reason is. If one reason is because Kershaw's horrible or this or that, or no one's hitting like last series where the best hitters are 0 for 5 each, it's unfair to look at just one person because they're the head. You have to look at the people under him and how they're performing.
Look at his postseason record. Look at his postseason record. Did you agree with the idea of leaving Lance Lynn, his choice to leave Lance Lynn in Game 3 to give up 4 home runs?
That's different.
Well,
I agree. I agree.
So
but you have to look at those things and not just say, oh, he's horrible. If he's good enough to win, it's like Bobby Cox. I'm glad they brought up Bobby Cox. He's a great manager. He was a great manager.
He won once.
So but it's not always the manager. That's all I'm saying. You're right. Sometimes Dave screws it up, but a lot of times it's not his.
Here to Chris's point, like last.
Thanks for the phone call, Chris.
Last year, as Chris mentioned, the real problem was your best bats went ice cold.
Of course.
But beyond that, though, and this is why I think context matters. We spent all of last season talking about how this was something of a gap year for the Dodgers. They weren't making strong commitments to anyone because they were obviously saving their money
for
Ohtani. So this was a team that nobody considered world beaters anyway. So the idea that they would lose in the first round, to be perfectly honest, isn't that shocking.
No matter what.
They weren't considered a great team to begin with.
I don't care who you are. I don't care what team you're the head coach or manager of. It doesn't matter to me. If you lose 3 times in a row in the first round of the playoffs to the division opponent, you do not get to stay. You do not get to continue to be. It's time for a change, no matter what. Even if it's not your fault, sometimes it's just a different voice in the room that's going to make a difference. That's why I'm on that bandwagon. But again, I want to be very, very clear. Dave Roberts has been amazing in this series. I want that to be absolutely clear.
You still don't deserve him.
That's the way you want to go.
Okay, I do want to make this point, though.
Sure.
Because my major contention, and for what it's worth, I would not fire Roberts even if they lose in this first series. But that being said, if you fire him, you fire him. But if the Dodgers fire Dave Roberts, and that's basically where they leave all of their examination, they decide, it's a matter of a new voice. Just need a new voice in there. Skip Schumacher, we love your voice. You come into the clubhouse. If that's where they leave it, if that's where all their introspection begins and ends, I'm telling you they're doing this wrong. Because there are a lot of reasons that this team is in the position that it's in right now, and different failures that have happened, that Dave Roberts has not a damn thing to do with it.
Yeah, look, you're absolutely right. And look, I want to be.
I want to move on from capable of moving more inward. And again, hopefully, we're not even having this conversation because they win tomorrow.
Right, exactly. I kind of want to move on from that conversation because we are coming off a very big Game 4 win. I want to be.
I just think it's important to point that out. That if Andrew Friedman ends up firing Dave Roberts for whatever reason, he's got to look inward more, too. Otherwise, we're going to be having the same complaints about whoever replaces Roberts.
Yeah, no matter what, it's going to be when you're the head coach or the manager of any team, you're going to get complaints no matter what. And so it's up to Andrew Friedman to decide who is the right guy for this job and whether or not it is Dave Roberts or not. But either way, the Dodgers won last night.
Yeah.
I want to keep that momentum building about that. I don't want it to be about firing Dave Roberts or not, because let's see what happens on Friday. Let's see what happens for the rest of the postseason, because that was a great win last night, and I felt that there was a lot of great things.
And a great Roberts performance.
It was a great Roberts performance. I want to get into Mookie Betts at some point, but we promised phone calls, so let's go to Jim in South LA. What's up, Jim?
Hey, guys, I was going to go with the same theme, but I'll leave the Dave Roberts thing alone. But I do like your list, Andy. But, the fact that we're even talking about the bullpen game, like the tweet before said, this says something not about Yamamoto to me because he's a 10-year project, but about Friedman. It's like, look at the starting pitching. Flaherty has not been sharp. Yamamoto, not been sharp. Who else have we got? It's ridiculous. This is Friedman's fault, not Roberts' fault. Friedman, they get here, and by the end of the season, everybody's beat up. Even when he got Scherzer couldn't go. This is the starting pitching thing, and we're lucky we've gotten this far.
So with Friedman, again, I'm a massive, massive defender of Andrew Friedman. Everything he does, I'm full.
Andrew Friedman we trust.
In Andrew Friedman we trust 1,000% because he brings in guys, Jim. He brings in guys like Max Scherzer. He brings in guys like Manny Machado. He brought in Yu Darvish. He brought in Trey Turner. He brought in Jack Flaherty. Whenever he got Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani is here, and if Friedman goes, so does Ohtani. So when it comes to Andrew Friedman, I believe in he's paying $1 billion for this payroll.
Well, he's not.
Well, yeah,
he's
it's
not.
Actually only paying $2 million right now for
no,
Ohtani.
I just mean
he's not. It's
paying
Mark
a damn
Walter
thing.
and the
Yes.
Guggenheim Foundation.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He's given permission,
right?
To do
but
that.
he's the one making all
Andrew
the moves.
Friedman does not deserve credit for the payroll. It's Walter and the
Appreciate
fellas.
you, Jim. But yeah, so Andrew Friedman, I fully believe that Friedman can do no wrong. Understanding that the guys that he brings in, he likes the guys that are reclamation projects, and he likes to get guys in Double-A that are throwing as hard as humanly possible and the strongest, that throw the fastest in all of baseball. That's a thing that they need to go and take a look at. But no matter what, he's always going to adjust, and he's always going to bring in the pieces that matter when it matters. All right, let's go to Ramon in Monrovia. What's up, Ramon?
Bergman, Andy, what an amazing show it sounds like without that jabroni Morales, without having to hear his voice.
I mean, it's
I
Morales.
love it. Or as I like to call him, the McCourt of Dodger fans.
Ooh, that's rough.
But I have to
Nobody wants to
say,
be that.
you know what? That game last night was like watching Dave Roberts play chess while the Padres were trying to play checkers. And I just, even if they lose the series, I don't think you're going to be able to find anybody better to manage this team than Dave Roberts. You keep bringing up Skip Schumacher.
He's available, that's why.
The guy, I'm sorry?
He's available. He took the Marlins to the playoffs. He was here as a Dodger at one point. That's why.
But there's no expectations with the Marlins. I mean, what if he comes here and we're in the same situation a year from now? I mean, what's going to be the excuse then?
It's not. There is no excuse, no matter what. Though I don't care if you're the Lakers head coach. I mean, we talked about this a little bit yesterday with Mace, Andy, and I get that they went out in the first round twice, but they didn't go 3 times. No matter what, if you are a team in Los Angeles, you play for rings. Without rings, it doesn't matter. If you go out in the first round 3 years in a row to division opponents, you don't look good, and that's not acceptable. If it's the Rams, if it's the Lakers, if it's the Dodgers, whatever it is, it doesn't work.
That, but to me, like, that's ethos. That's we're LA. That's history, and it's cool. It's fine. Whatever. Like it's stuff that fans enjoy, and I know franchises listen to the pulse of their fans. But if all you do is base it on results and you don't take a look at the process, you're doing it wrong.
No, 100%.
You're just flat out doing it wrong.
Right. Also,
because you don't get
the Dodgers
to win every year.
Again, we're going back to this whole narrative around Dave Roberts. I really don't want to get into, but it's the biggest story, so I get it. But the Dodgers are built for a 162-game season, and that's how it's always been. The 162-game season, they can win 100 to 111 games every single year, 95 to 111 games, whatever it happens to be. That's how they build their team. That analytics in shortened series has always been where you have to move away from it. I'll give Dave Roberts this. He has not, at least in my opinion, he has not gone by the analytics that he used in the regular season over and over again. This has been a different year this year.
I've wondered actually, and I have no idea if this is accurate or not. Like, I'm not as close to the Dodgers clubhouse and what's going on there as, say, I would be like with the Lakers.
Sure, you're there every day.
Right.
Locked On Lakers podcast.
If available 5 days a week, anywhere you get your podcast, Monday through Friday.
YouTube
never behind
component.
a paywall. Yeah, for the sickos who like to watch, there's a YouTube component as well. I wasn't sure whether or not it was appropriate to bring it up in a Dodger-centric show.
That's okay.
But Dave, I don't know for sure if Dave Roberts is truly managing for his job or not, but I guarantee, because Dave Roberts doesn't live in a bubble, he is aware of the narrative that he is managing for his job, and he's probably aware of at least the possibility that if they lose in this series, he could lose his job. This may be a series where he decides, screw it, I'm doing it my way. Because if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down doing this thing the way I want to, and I will accept those consequences, as opposed to potentially getting fired for doing the things they told me to do.
Yeah, that's what everybody wants, though. That's what we've always wanted to see. We wanted to see what he does with when he's using his gut. We've always been believed that he's just Andrew Friedman's puppet, and and the in-game decisions weren't actually him. If this is what he is, because by the way, in years past, he made the wrong gut decisions over and over and over again, where we put it up on Twitter over and saying, this is the wrong move. Don't do this, and it went the wrong way.
Were they his gut decisions, though, or were they decisions
we don't
from
know.
up high?
But we're assuming coming up when it's in-game decisions, I fully believe that Dave Roberts has full control, and especially in this series. So if this is all Dave's gut that's going on right now in this series, then it's all working time in and time out so far. So I'm, again, really happy with the job that Dave Roberts is doing. All right, we got to take a break. I think Marcus Grant is going to join us for a little bit. My buddy on the Blue Review every single day right here on the ESPN YouTube channel from 8:30 to 8:55. He's going to come on a little bit earlier. But we're going to do that, and then we'll take your phone calls after that. Andy Kamenetsky, Greg Bergman, here, 8:15 in the morning, and we're still going strong after a big Game 4 win for the Dodgers. All that coming up next.
It's SUV month at Kia of Carson, and you can get sweet deals on the last of the 24 Tellurides and win a sweet night experience for you and 3 guests for just a test drive. Compliments of Kia of Carson and ESPN LA. We have great deals on our hybrids and plug-ins, as well as our all-electric models. So whether you decide to go with the Nero Hybrid with an EPA estimated 53 mpg in the city or a rugged Telluride, we have the car and the deal for you all month at Kia of Carson. Visit KiaofCarson.com, or better yet, come test drive a new Kia for a chance to win a sweet experience.
Hey guys, it's Cappy here, and I want to talk about my friend Avner Gatt, a public adjuster. Now, many of you guys have asked me, why Avner Gatt? What makes his team so unique at handling insurance claims? So let me tell you something. I've been working with Avner and his team for a while. I can tell you this. Avner Gatt has a dynamic team that's highly effective and successful because these folks come from a very diverse background in the insurance industry. For example, some of them used to work for insurance companies before they joined Avner's team. Yes, they actually chose to switch sides when they realized the effectiveness of Avner's team's work. Some of them used to be in the restoration business, rebuilding homes after disasters. Some of them used to be in the contents handling business, moving homeowners' belongings to a safe place for restoration and storage. Some of them were experts in hazardous materials handling, like asbestos and lead testing. That was their daily work. And some of them were members of law firms handling bad faith claims and general business disputes. You see, diversification is the name of the game. When you are represented by Avner Gatt's team, you have the entire team's experience and know-how by your side. No one, and I mean no one, messes with Avner Gatt and his team. So call Avner Gatt right now, 818-917-5256, 818-917-5256. That's AvnerGatt.com, AVNERGAT, AvnerGatt.com. When you call him directly, Avner Gatt and his family, they take the calls themselves. Avner Gatt says, hello.
Hey kids, Uncle Artie here from Perennial Law, here to tell you about a newer sponsorship deal with Matt Barnes, who has deep LA roots, former Bruin and pro basketball player for both LA teams.
If you're looking for the best possible results after an accident, call my guy, Uncle Artie, at Perennial Law. And there's never any upfront fees. They collect when you collect. And for the record, their win-loss record puts them in the top of the standings. That's 844-DIAL-UNC. That's 844-DIAL-UNC.
Hey, Travis Rogers here from my friends at Mike Thompson's RV. It's time to get out and get dirty. Toy Hauler RV season is officially open. Bring your toys along for less now through October 20th at your Toy Hauler headquarters, Mike Thompson's RV. They have revved up discounts across a huge inventory of top-selling brands, dozens of floor plans to choose from. They're making it easy, so pack your toys and go full throttle with special pricing on all trailers and motorhomes in stock. Race on in today. These deals won't last. In-store and online, MikeThompson.com.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Greg Bergman, Andy Kamenetsky here at 8:20 in the morning on just a special Dodgers show, just for the Dodgers this early in the morning. I'm doing something right now, Andy, that I'm banning the whole Dave Roberts conversation for the rest of the hour. I do not want to have this conversation anymore. The Dodgers won Game 4 last night. Mookie Betts is showing everybody why he's Mookie Betts. Will Smith got a home run. Everybody's starting to pick it up, and the bottom of the lineup looks good. The bullpen game was a lot of fun. I'm done with this Dave Roberts conversation.
I am not joking. I did a literal double take when it was Will Smith. I was like, wait. That was his first hit in the series. That's crazy. Like, that was. I'm not even saying that he's been bad as much as like
it's like shocking that he hasn't gotten a hit yet.
Well, when your first hit is a home run, that's a bit of a wake up call.
Yeah, and my buddy on the Blue Review, Marcus Grant, what's going on, man? We're talking about that big Game 4 win. The first thing I want to get to with you, Marcus, is that, and I know it's going to be a little bit weird, but I keep seeing it on Twitter. People keep saying, if you had to, I know where I would go. If you had to, would you pitch Shohei Ohtani in Game 5?
No.
Thank you.
No, we're not doing that. I mean, I guess it's fun to talk about or whatever, but I feel like we put a lid on that. And, like, here it is. This is a guy coming off of basically a second Tommy John surgery, right? They have been very careful, very cautious with him this whole entire season. They have stuck to the plan. I know it's tempting. I know everybody would love it. Like, I imagine the Dodger Stadium would go bananas if he comes out of the bullpen to throw it in. But
yeah, he would.
I feel like the risk is way greater than the potential reward. For it to be his first time pitching in over a year in an incredibly high stress, high leverage situation, just no. Let's stop.
If it is Ohtani, though, and I agree with Marcus, it's not a good idea, and I'd say the chances are somewhere between non-existent and no way in hell. But if it is Ohtani, I want them to go full drama showmanship, and whichever is the starting pitcher, Yamamoto, Flaherty, Brazier, I want them to take the mound and then rip off a mask, and it's actually Ohtani right underneath
like
the
it's
mask.
Mission Impossible.
Yes, like he rips off the Yamamoto mask, rips off the Flaherty mask, rips off the Brazier mask, and it's actually Ohtani. Just full on showmanship.
He goes like Super Saiyan, like
plot twist, just plot twist. Let's do this thing.
That wouldn't it all be weird when we're like, hey, when did Yamamoto become 6'4"? Like, how did that happen?
He's been lifting before this
When
game.
did he become Goku? So, yeah, that's obviously not going to happen, Marcus. But about last night's game, obviously the bullpen game worked out tremendously. And what I liked about it the most was that they did something that Dodger pitchers haven't seemed to be able to do against the Padres, or really anybody has been able to do against the Padres, and that's strike guys out. They had 8 strikeouts last night. So when seeing that in a bullpen game, what do you do for Game 5? Do you go bullpen game, Yamamoto starting, or Flaherty starting?
I think you start Yamamoto, but you have Flaherty on standby in case things go back. Because this is when you're not going to mess around, right? If it looks early on like the Padres have another bead on Yamamoto, and let's be honest, they faced him 3 times, they've beaten him 3 times, so you'll get a sense pretty quickly how things are going to go. And so you've got Flaherty just sort of, on emergency standby that if the Padres get a run or two early, you're not afraid to have a quick hook and go make that change. But I think ideally you want to have a traditional starter just because, look, even though you have the day off to sort of regroup and reorganize that bullpen, fact of the matter is you don't want to expose those guys to another long situation there. Dave Roberts pulled all the right levers last night. Everything went well. But I said last night with Beto, the more times you're making moves, the more times you're making changes, there's just more opportunities for things to go wrong. So if you can minimize that, I think that's what you do.
Based on Yamamoto, it's a small sample size in terms of his MLB career, and it's really small against the Padres. 2 outings, both have been bad. Is there anything you've noticed with Yamamoto specifically that could explain the struggles that he's been having with this team in particular?
I mean, nothing that I've seen visually, but I know there was talk after game 1 rather, that maybe he was tipping pitches a little bit, and that had something to do with it. So, obviously this is something in the clubhouse that they have looked at. I'm sure he and Mark Pryor and Dave Roberts have sat down and tried to figure something out. So I'm going to sort of lean on what they've seen and what they're saying and what they're believing. I don't have any sort of analytical or any kind of deep analysis. I just have this gut feeling that if it is Yamamoto on Friday, that somehow he's going to go out and he's going to pitch well. I think having seen the Padres a few times, sort of getting a chance to understand what they're about, and if it really is true that maybe he was tipping pitches a little bit, I just feel like something's going to come together for him on Friday. We're going to see a good Yamamoto who gives him a solid outing. Ideally through 5, preferably through 6, but I feel like it's going to be different this time.
So the last time that I heard about tipping pitches for the Dodgers was in 2017. In Game 2, Yu Darvish was tipping pitches, apparently. And they
assisted by trash cans, but tipping pitches.
But sure, the idea at the time was that they were tipping pitches. And then he came in into Game 7 and apparently was tipping pitches again, brought to you by trash cans as well. No matter what, that was the last time that I heard about that kind of thing. So this seems very similar. He's tipping pitches in Game 1, and now you're going to have him go into Game 5 because they figured out the tipping of the pitches. To me, I just don't feel comfortable with Yamamoto starting that Game 5. Now, that doesn't mean that if they win that game that he doesn't pitch in Game 1 of the next series. Totally fine. Against the Mets is a completely different situation. But in this series against the Padres, who he has not been able to get out anybody in Korea, in here, in wherever it happens to be, I just don't feel comfortable. I'm actually more comfortable with the bullpen game again because you're keeping them off balance and you are getting strikeouts.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't love the idea of another bullpen game going back-to-back. Now, I think what was interesting is sort of how Roberts played that game yesterday because he sort of managed it backwards, right, in the sense of you have Kopech pitching in the 3rd and Knack going in the 9th. I mean, there were a lot of things that I saw that didn't make sense to me last night. Now, it worked, so this isn't the complaint. This is just more of a, sort of me looking at this, going Kopech in the 3rd, going, with Granger for an inning in a 3rd, going with Bonda as your second guy. It was not at all the way I anticipated it would go. It was not the way, certainly, that I probably would have handled it, but that's why I'm sitting here on the phone with you and not in the clubhouse with the Dodgers. So, I thought that was well done. I just feel like that's living dangerously to try to do it again because all it takes is one guy to just not have it that night, and then suddenly you're really kind of up against it. So, look, if they don't want to go with Yamamoto and they want to go with Flaherty instead, I'm fine with that. But I do think you got to play this a little bit more traditionally because I just think, exposing your bullpen to another, 7, 8, 9 innings is just a bad idea.
How much do you think, Marcus, it really matters or maybe even just tips the outcome of the game if the Dodgers just get an early lead?
Oh, I think it's huge. I think it's huge emotionally. I think it gets the crowd up and into it because we saw last night how quickly the Dodgers took the crowd out of it in San Diego. I mean, it started with nothing but yellow towels waving, just a sea of UPS drivers sitting down there just swinging towels around. Mookie hits the home run in the first. They get 2 more in the second, 2 more in the third, and it felt like a wake the rest of the night because the Padres didn't get anything going. So if you flip that on its head on Friday night and you get the Blue Crew just rabid and hopefully at least respectfully rabid, if we can say that, I think it completely changes the tenor of the game.
So I've been trying to talk about Mookie Betts for about an hour and a half, but we keep getting derailed and going in different directions. In our group chat with me, you, and Parker Bell for the Blue Review, we are typically on the mindset of in Mookie we trust, where I fully believe that he was on base 3 times in Game 1. He just barely missed a home run. Actually, got a home run stolen from him in Game 2, and how has back-to-back 2-hit games in Games 3 and 4. How are you feeling about Mookie, and were you still always on the Mookie train as well?
Yeah, I wasn't jumping off the Mookie Betts train. I mean, this dude has been too good for too long in his career to suddenly just pull the plug on him. And that was the other thing. It's like, okay, well, if you don't believe in Mookie, what's your answer? I mean, who are you going to put? Who are you going to put out in right field? Who are you going to put in that number 2 spot in the batting order? Like, that's the other part of this, is that if somehow you were going to just bail on this guy, you didn't have an easy answer to that. But I always figured, you keep giving him enough chances, knowing, 1, how talented he is, but 2, how much he cares and how much it's bothering him to not perform in these situations. You just knew it was going to come around. And here it is, right? I mean, if Jurickson Profar doesn't rob that home run from him in Game 2, the whole conversation about what's wrong with Mookie goes away immediately. And then since then, he has just been on fire, right? Home runs in Games 3 and 4, a number of hits last night. So I think the what's wrong with Mookie conversation can be put to bed.
Thank goodness.
Well, I mean, taking this even a step further, Marcus, like the situation with the Freddie Freeman throw that went off Machado that opened up this just disastrous and also really weird inning for the Dodgers as well. If Freeman is standing as opposed to on his knees making that throw, and I think it's more likely he makes a good throw there, or like Miguel Rojas just does a normal flip for that double play as opposed to trying to run it in. Like, but even just that one sequence with Freeman and Machado, like, everything changes from there. There's been a lot of weirdness in this series in general. That sequence yesterday with the ball that ends up hitting off Machado and then off the umpire, which leads to Ohtani getting thrown out of the plate. Like, these are just strange things that have been happening in this series, which I guess is fitting because you got 2 teams that truly hate each other.
Yeah, I mean, 2 teams that hate each other, 2 teams that have played each other a lot, and then just the general weirdness of postseason baseball sort of leading to all of this. But, I think you talk about the Freeman play, the Rojas play, as frustrating as it is because it led to a huge inning and ultimately the Padres win that game. I guess when you take a step back, you can look at it as sins of caring too much, I guess, for lack of a better description. I mean, like, Freddie is out there trying to gut it out because he's trying to help this team win. For Rojas, I mean, he re-aggravated his injury, as he said, 3 different times in that ball game, but he's out there trying to make a play to help this team win. Now, in the end, maybe the Dodgers were better off last night with those guys sitting just because it allowed them to put in guys who were fully healthy and not really trying to overextend themselves. Here's the thing. The Dodgers, whatever happens in this series, I don't think anybody can blame a lack of passion, a lack of aggression on anything that happens. If they lose, because the Padres just outperformed them and beat them. So, it's been weird. Ideally, if everything goes the other way in Game 3, they win that and the series is over already. But, here we are. We're still one shot, right? It's a winner-take-all game, and that's really all you can ask for.
Yeah, can we just go to Shohei? We were talking about Shohei Ohtani and how that ball went off the umpire and all those different things. It hasn't been mentioned today. Did you see that Shohei Ohtani went first to second on a tag up to a ball to center field?
Yes.
What are we talking about? Who does that ever?
I mean, there were little things in that game. I mean, I realized early that the Dodgers showed up to fight last night, and I think I tweeted that early on the game. Like, I don't know how this thing's going to end, but the Dodgers have showed up to play. The way they attacked the baseball from the beginning, right? The way they went after Dylan Cease from the start. But little things like that, right? A fly ball to center, and you've got Shohei tagging up, trying to go from first to second, guys going first to third on singles. This team really was not going to go down without a fight. And I think that's going to be the case on Friday. If the Padres win it, they will have earned it because I just don't think the Dodgers are going to lay down and give it to them.
So how do you feel about Shohei so far in this series? He has the one home run in the first game, but he has gotten a hit in pretty much every game except I think on game 2 he didn't get a hit, but he gets big hits. He has driven in runs. I think he has 4 or 5 RBIs in the series. Are you happy with Shohei's performance so far? Do you think he needs more? I mean, where are you on Shohei?
No, I think he's been fine.
Not otherworldly.
On the Blue Review a few times. I thought he was going to go nuclear in the playoffs. That hasn't quite happened, but I don't have any complaints with what he has given them so far, especially because look, those first 2 games, when we were still having the what's wrong with Mookie Betts conversation, I don't think the Padres were very interested in pitching to him, right? So he was doing the best with what he was getting. The fact that he was still generally able to find his way on base and at least force some pressure a little bit, I think Shohei has been fine. Now I'm very curious. Now that Mookie is hitting again, and if you're the Padres, you do have to throw Shohei some strikes. What's going to happen in Game 5 and potentially beyond? But he hasn't been Superman, but let's be honest, that stretch he had in the season was next level. It was superhuman, and I think as much as we want to see it continue, that might have been an unreasonable request by us.
There's also too, assuming that the Dodgers end up closing out Game 5 and they advance, and we're not there yet, but if they do, there is something to the idea of them closing out this series without Ohtani carrying him. Because that has not been the case. And I'm not even saying he's been bad, but Ohtani has not been carrying the Dodgers. And there had been a lot of talk about heading into this series because fans weren't trusting Mookie. They weren't trusting Freeman. We didn't even know what the hell the starting rotation would be if they even had a starting rotation. So there was an expectation of, at the end of the day, it's going to be Ohtani carrying them. The idea that didn't happen at all if they end up closing out, that could be good for them psychologically moving forward.
Oh, 100%. And, a thing that we've talked about during the year is that, yes, they will obviously need Shohei and Mookie and Freddie and those guys at the top, Teoscar, those guys to hit. They're going to have to do their part and drive in runs. But if the Dodgers are going to win, certainly this playoff series, but a World Series, it's going to be because somebody at the bottom of the lineup, one of those guys that doesn't get headlined, is out there, doing things and getting hits and making plays. Whether it's, it's Kike, if it's, Tommy Edman, if it was a healthy Miguel Rojas, it was going to be one of those guys that doesn't get the headlines all the time, that was going to show up with a big hit or a big at bat, and that's how they were going to win. And certainly that's been the case in the 2 games they've won in this series. Yeah, the big guys have done big things, but it's the catalyst coming from the bottom of the order that's really gotten things going.
Yeah, the bottom of the order has been great, and especially in the wins. That's where they're really coming through to get it back up to Shohei. And he did walk twice yesterday, so that was a huge part of him just being on base. We got to take a break here, Marcus. Are you sticking around? Are you heading out? What are we thinking?
I got to bounce. I got to scarf some breakfast and get to the day job. But I wanted to pop in, celebrate the big win and get ready for Friday.
All right, well, appreciate you, Marcus, and we'll talk tomorrow. I'm sure we're going to have some Blue Review tomorrow just as well, like we do every day from 8:30 to 8:55. Appreciate you, Marcus.
Cool. Sounds good, y'all. Be good.
All right, let's get into a little bit more phone calls. We'll get into a little bit Teoscar Hernandez, too. That is my guy. Teo is my favorite player on this team. You'd think it'd be Mookie or Shohei, but let's get into a little bit of Teo when we're coming up. Greg Bergman, Andy Kamenetsky, that's all coming up next.
LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F-words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/LA to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/LA.
Over 20 years ago, the first batch of Tito's handmade vodka was distilled in the heart of Austin, Texas. Since then, its roots have stayed put, and its vodka continues to be made on the same land where Tito built his dream. A distillery called Mockingbird that houses a simple vodka with a spirit the size of Texas and as good as the day it was born. Learn more about the Tito's story at Tito'sVodka.com. That's Tito'sVodka.com, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Hey, it's Mace. There's a lot on the line in this election, from protecting the Social Security you've earned to supporting family caregivers. And you have the power to make the candidates listen, because voters 50 and over decide elections. That's why AARP California has created an election guide with the most up-to-date information about when, where, and how to vote. Get trusted election information at aarp.org/CA votes. That's aarp.org/CA votes. Paid for by AARP.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. A jacuzzi bath system fits in your existing tub space. It's a no-mess installation with an amazing style selection, factory-certified installers, and a limited lifetime warranty. Call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599 right now and get 50% off installation with no interest and no payments for 12 months. Replace that old bathtub today with a walk-in shower for a safer bathing experience. If you have lived in your home for over 15 years, it's time to remodel your bathroom. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599. 800-717-4599.
Sorry, it's taking a little long. I love this song and just wanted to let it play, you know? We're just trying to figure out. We're a little bit behind on breaks, trying to put them together, see what's going to happen. So Jorge's doing his little magic bit that he does back there. He's the best at all of this. All right, Andy Kamenetsky, Greg Bergman, on the day after the Dodgers take Game 4 and tie the series up to play again on Friday here at Dodger Stadium. Is it going to be a bullpen game? Is it going to be a Yamamoto game? Is it going to be a Flaherty game? Nobody knows.
The only thing we know, it will not be a Walker Buehler game.
It will not.
That's the only thing we know for sure.
Sure, that's all that we know. And we know, you know what? We won't even know until very, very close to first pitch what's going to happen. And that's exactly. They love the gamesmanship around here. But no matter what, a guy that really brings gamesmanship to the Dodgers, I've been wanting to talk about him for a long time. Teoscar Hernandez. Yeah. He just brings such a different type of energy. I know we've talked about energy and passion and those types of things. He is the epitome of that passion, that energy that everybody wants to see. He's throwing the sunflower seeds. He is tied for the team lead with hits. He has the most RBIs in the series. Every time he comes up, you just feel like he's going to do something good. And by the way, he's not swinging and missing as much as he was before. He was always going after that outside pitch throughout the whole season. He's laying off of it to the fact that he's walked twice and only struck out 3 times. That's something he hasn't done all season.
Teoscar, to me, is the Yasiel Puig vibe, but you don't have to worry about it going sideways.
Right. He's not a wild horse.
Right. Like, you know what? It's one thing to be a wild horse. Wild was actually a wild card.
Right.
And sometimes I was a Puig fan. Sometimes the Puig wild card factor was awesome. Sometimes it went completely sideways. You know, depending the day that you asked guys in the clubhouse, they loved him or they couldn't stand him. Teoscar's got the exact same larger-than-life vibe and the fun vibe, but you don't have to worry about it getting out of control. It's like he's the professional version of Yasiel Puig.
Yeah, no, and everything that he's done so far, He's legitimately my favorite player on this team. He's been this way the whole year. When they got Teoscar Hernandez before the season started, I said, that's going to be a massive pickup for this team. And he showed it all year long. I think he had like 33 home runs. He just missed getting 100 RBIs, and he would have been the only other one besides Shohei to hit 100 RBIs. Every time you needed something big, Teoscar Hernandez was in the middle of every single big moment, and he just continues to get on base. He continues to get big hits, and he's doing it not only in the regular season, he's carried it over into the postseason and has been so much better at the plate. I love this man so much.
Pay that man his money.
Seriously, he needs to be re-signed. He is a free agent. He said before that he wants to be here another 3, 4, 5 years. He really loves being here, and he came here so he can be in these types of moments. If they don't re-sign him and they let him go somewhere else, that is a massive, massive miss on Andrew Friedman.
Well, you know what, though? It may not just be a massive miss by Andrew Friedman. If they don't sign Teoscar, you may look around at some of the other contracts and say that's the reason. Like if they don't sign Teoscar, you may look at Glasnow's contract or Yamamoto's contract or even someone like Will Smith, who got
10 years.
10 years is a big commitment to a catcher. That's actually some of the places you're going to look. It's not even so much maybe, not even so much Andrew Friedman not recognizing what they have in Teoscar as it is we can't afford to pay this, or we're told from high above not paying for that.
I just feel like there's no excuse when it comes to payroll with this team specifically. Now, if they win the World Series,
680 of it's deferred.
Right, it's all exactly. That's actually a really good point, Andy, because that's $700 million that you paid Shohei Ohtani. The 680 deferment from Shohei, which apparently was his decision, that allowed you to go get Glasnow, allowed you to go get Yamamoto, allowed you to go pay Teoscar and defer that money down to $12 million.
Mark Walter, by the time that bill comes due, you might not even own this team.
No, right.
It might not even be you paying it.
He's just going to give it to someone.
Don't worry about it.
Right.
Don't worry. You can pull a Celtics. They signed that big payroll, and now they're looking to sell the team. Come on, grift your way out of this. It's okay.
There's ways to get around it. But
it doesn't have to be you.
But no matter what, Teoscar Hernandez, because you have guys like that, and because you have guys that deferred like Shohei, it's so much money. You have to go all in. Now, maybe if they win the World Series, that might change a little bit. But I feel like since Shohei is all in by deferring so much money, the team has to be all in. And Mark Walter and Andrew Friedman told them, we are all in for you. So they're going to continue to pay guys. They're going to continue at the trade deadline to get guys like Jack Flaherty and Tommy Edman, who, by the way, has been great in this postseason.
That, by the way, side note with Ohtani and the 680 deferred, that was the number one reason that I knew that the scandal with Ipe, that Ohtani was not actually the one gambling, because nobody who is that deep into gambling defers $680 million.
Great point.
Like you want it all there right in front of you. Nobody with a gambling problem defers 680.
I never even thought about that, but nobody's taking $70 million that they're getting that year and saying like, oh, I got this big gambling debt, I'm not going to give that money away.
Or just, look, if you are that into gambling, you want as much cash accessible to you in the moment. Not that Ohtani, and the other reason I knew that this was not Ohtani's doing, he already has so much money, he could have just paid off his gambling debts.
Yeah.
Like if this was really his.
It would have been like that.
You pay it off in cash so there's no paper trail, because if you are as secretive as Ohtani and as private as Ohtani, you leave no paper trail. You just hand somebody a suitcase filled with cash, and you're done.
I've always wanted one of those. I want a suitcase with handcuffs and put it on my wrist and just walk onto a plane and just see what happens. That's it.
I have a granduncle who no longer with us. My Uncle Todd, great guy.
Hi, Uncle Todd.
Again,
no,
he's
sorry.
With us.
R.I.P.
Well,
I've done that twice. I did that yesterday and today. Jeez.
But
I did do it yesterday. A caller called in and I was like, say hi to your mom. He's like, well, she died. I was like, oh, jeez. Come on, man.
Still saying hi.
Still saying hi.
But he used to work in Vegas, and there was a period where he was like a big muckety-muck with one of the casinos, and he used to be one of those guys who walked around with the briefcase handcuffed to his wrist.
That's awesome.
Well, eventually he started developing issues where he was using a little bit too much house money, if you know what I mean. Developed a bit of a problem. it turned out not to be so awesome.
No.
I mean,
it can go sideways pretty fast.
Make it clear that it's not why he's no longer with us. He died of natural causes, lived a very long life.
Oh, okay.
But he was one of those guys who had the briefcase.
He left IOUs inside the briefcase.
They open it up like in Dumb and Dumber. When they open up the briefcase, it's all IOUs.
I really hope not, because some of those IOUs were big enough. I'm concerned that they could get passed down to me.
It was that way in Dumb and Dumber, too,
Yeah.
by the way. That was a lot of IOUs. All right, let's take a phone call right here. We still have a little bit of time left. Luis in Valencia. What's going on, Luis or Lewis, whichever one it is?
Hey, man. So I got a story. You were talking about Chris Taylor yesterday, and I know I called him yesterday and beat you up a little bit on Dave Roberts, but I'm kind of taking that back a little bit. So Chris Taylor absolutely struggling. Does not deserve to be on this roster. Didn't really deserve to be in that game. But Greg, you'll kind of hit home on this. So last year, my 13-year-old daughter had a spinal fusion surgery on her back. She now has 2 rods and 17 screws in her back to correct severe scoliosis, and she's good. She's back to competitive swimming, kicking ass. Shouts out Emily. But it just kind of reminds you, these people are players, but they're also human beings. Don't hate the player. Don't hate the man. Just hate their play. I don't hate Dave Roberts. He's not a gutless jabroni. He's I'll reduce him down to just a jabroni for today. But at the same time, they're getting paid a lot of money to perform, and those expectations can be there, and that's fine. But every time that guy strikes out, I mean, this guy came to UCLA, and him and his wife and the CT3 Foundation, they circled the whole pediatric recovery unit, spent 10 to 15 minutes with each kid, took pictures, talked, signed autographs, signed hats, just a great humanitarian, and so. But then, at the same time, I'm watching him strike out 3 times. Or I think it was 3. Hopefully it wasn't 4. And I'm just like, oh, my gosh.
It was 4.
It was 4. And it just, it breaks your heart to see somebody struggle like that. But, again, they're getting paid a lot of money to do something that we all would do. I'd love to play baseball for a living and get paid $17 million a year. So that's all I wanted to say. I've told Beto that story. And, it's just every time the guy comes up, I feel for him every time he strikes out because I know deep down he's a good dude. But go Dodgers tomorrow. They're alive for one more day. And Dave Roberts, well, we'll see. He's not good. Actually, he showed a lot of emotion last night when Ohtani was out. I don't know if he was mad at Ohtani or mad at the umpire, Dino Ebel, but he was mad. And so there I had to
well, Ebel had his arms up, if I'm right. He had his arms up for the stop sign.
He stopped him.
Yeah, he stopped. So he wouldn't be mad at
Ebel. And Ohtani went through.
Yep. Well, it also it was a random play.
Ohtani had just taken second on that fly ball, probably on his own. So Ohtani probably tried to take home on his own, but Dave Roberts showed a lot of emotion. He was a little hot right there. So he got the gutless card removed, but that's it. See you guys later. Have a great day.
All right, appreciate you, Luis. And now the fact of what he's saying is it's a good point because look, we don't hate the actual people at any sense. We get upset with the players when they don't play well. We get upset with the managers when they don't manage to what we think is the right decisions. It was not because we hate Dave Roberts or hate CT3. That story about CT3, that's amazing. That's what a good humanitarian does. That's what somebody that is takes their money and puts into good use. Those are amazing things. So it's not about the players. You're upset because Chris Taylor goes 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts and has a golden sombrero. That's what's upsetting. And you think, hey, you should not be in the lineup again in Game 5, Andy.
No, he has no business being. If you want to put him in late in a game as a defensive substitution, fine, whatever. He does have no business starting. I mean, he's an empty at bat at this stage of his career. And look, part of what made Chris Taylor a great story, like overall for his career, is it wasn't expected for him. Like the prominence, the heights that he eventually reached with the Dodgers, nobody saw that coming. But then eventually it stopped. And we're at the moment now where it's no longer that great story.
Right. It's not anymore. Unfortunately, he has had great moments with the Dodgers in the past, but so has Kike Hernandez. It's all about who's hot at the right time and who's playing the best at the right time. Kike Hernandez in the playoffs is the right guy at the right time, so he should be getting that start over Chris Taylor.
Confessional moment?
Yeah, what's that?
Did you hate Pedro Baez?
Again, I hated the player. I didn't actually hate the person.
It felt like you were walking the line with Baez.
Look, I mean, Baez, I watched Baez give up so many 3-run home runs in big spots. I watched him as he sat there and took 35 seconds to get to actually throw a pitch. Those things were frustrating. So no matter what, hey, we got. Oh, hi. We'll let you in just a second there. If Jorge or somebody or Emily, let your mom in there. Thank you very much, Alex. That was fun. It's not about Pedro Baez, the person. He was just frustrating to watch.
It felt like it bordered.
it always borders, absolutely. But no matter what, like I still love this team. And really, if you look at what's going on with this team in just this series alone, they're hitting. Like, everybody on this team seems to be hitting for the most part. I know that Max Muncy hasn't been as performative as some of the other guys, but he's just missing home runs. The power is there. That's just not, it's just not falling. I really think that it's everybody, though. Will Smith is playing well. He's getting on base. It's the same thing that Mookie Betts was, to me, in those first 2 games. It comes down to he's getting on base. And if you get on base, good things will happen, Andy.
I'm trying to find it was a reliever with the Dodgers maybe the last.
Are we sticking on Pedro Baez?
Well, no, not Baez. My wife, I'm trying to remember who it was. There was a reliever that I think it bled into. She really hates this man.
No, absolutely.
Like every time he came on base, she was like,
Brandon League.
I think it was Brandon Lee.
He was so frustrating.
I think my wife actually hated Brandon Lee. Like
Brandon Lee was another one of those guys who I don't ever want to see you on the field again.
I think she resented him taking the mound to a point where she may have actually hated him. And I'm not even saying it's fair. I'm not saying she would say it's fair. I'm just saying I think it happened.
It probably did.
I think it was Lee.
All right, so we're going to be going over onto Travis and DeMarco coming up next. Are we doing a little bit of crosstalk, Em?
Sure.
Sure. All right, let's do some crosstalk. We'll do that coming up in just a minute. Greg Bergman, Andy Kamenetsky, Travis and DeMarco will be here next. The day after the Dodgers win Game 4, force a Game 5 tomorrow. And what's it going to be? Is it a bullpen game? Flaherty, Yamamoto? We'll see what Travis and DeMarco feel about that. That's coming up next.
Hey, Travis Rogers here for my friends at Mike Thompson's RV. It's time to get out and get dirty. Toy Hauler RV season is officially open. Bring your toys along for less now through October 20th at your Toy Hauler headquarters, Mike Thompson's RV. They have revved up discounts across a huge inventory of top-selling brands, dozens of floor plans to choose from. They're making it easy, so pack your toys and go full throttle with special pricing on all trailers and motorhomes in stock. Race on in today. These deals won't last. In-store and online, MikeThompson.com.
Hey, what up? It's Matt Barnes here. If you're looking for the best possible results after an accident, call my guy, Uncle Artie, at Pernia Law.
For me, it's about getting the top result and the top value for your claim. Even if you didn't have insurance during the accident, Uncle Artie will still help you. I'm sure a lot of you out there got turned back from attorneys when you said, I don't have insurance. Well, guess what? Uncle Artie can still help you. It does not matter. Give us a call. You have nothing to lose. We take the case on a contingency. You don't pay up front.
Uncle Artie's not just my friend, but he's your uncle in the business. Artie Pernia is a seasoned personal injury attorney who works with you, so you receive the best possible compensation for your case. Let Uncle Artie and the Pernia Law family provide peace of mind, so you can focus on your recovery.
Trust us, trust Uncle.
When you're looking for the best possible results after an accident, call my guy, Uncle Artie, at Pernia Law, 844-DIAL-UNC. That's 844-DIAL-UNC.
Hey guys, it's Sedano here. You know it's hard to find a good dentist for your kids, someone who they can trust and enjoy going to the dentist with. Luckily, we found Children's Dental Fun Zone. With 17 locations across Southern California, Children's Dental Fun Zone specializes in children's dentistry and orthodontics. With state-of-the-art equipment and personal attention your children deserve. To book your child's next appointment, visit their website, cdfzone.com. That's cdfzone.com. Or call them at 800-717-KIDS. That's 800-717-KIDS.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Hey guys, it's Cappy. You've heard me talk about my personal situation with my divorce and subsequent custody battle in the past, and I know that you need a team behind you to get the justice you deserve. My friend Mark Reel and his team at Real Fathers Rights are here to help you guys. Visit realfathersrights.com/710. That's REEL. realfathersrights.com/710 or call 323-870-1611. That's 323-870-1611. Real Fathers Rights, the Father's Rights Attorneys.
Everyone knows Earl Hershiser has won numerous awards for his performance on the field. But off the field, he's a great humanitarian, a true friend and partner of mine, and a real bulldog when it comes to business.
Baseball taught me to work hard and respect people. Rotolo Chevrolet does both, and that's why I joined the team.
Rotolo Chevrolet has been Dealer of the Year for 12 straight years. Like Earl, we know something about winning.
I believe they call that a dynasty.
Come see what the fun is all about at Rotolo Chevrolet.
You never have to miss a moment of LA's mega sports station. Get the all-new ESPN LA app.
Just search ESPN LA in your App Store or Google Play.
Download, tap, and bam!
You got 710 ESPN in the palm of your hand. 710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
I love seeing DeMarco all pumped up.
Finally, we haven't heard the song all week.
Greg
Oh,
Bergman,
yeah.
Andy Kamenetsky,
Yes.
Travis Rogers, DeMarco Farr in the house after the day after the Dodgers win Game 4 to force a Game 5. How you guys feeling right now?
Happy. Aren't you happy?
Great, right? Oh, yeah, I'm ecstatic.
Thank you.
Look, see, this is the same thing that happened yesterday, Trav. You walk in, you're stone-faced. I don't know which way you're feeling right now.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Are you feeling pretty good?
You look it.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
He's containing it.
There you go.
He's containing
Are you saving it again for tomorrow?
No, he's containing it.
I'm not saving it.
He'll tell you. He's nervous.
Trying to enjoy it.
Yes, because
trying to
why?
savor it.
Why?
Because there's another one coming.
That's right.
Tomorrow.
It
That's
all
a big
tomorrow.
one.
Sometimes you want to extend the good feeling. Sometimes you want to make the feeling last a little bit longer.
Look, as somebody who's known Travis for a long time, I can tell you there's a limit to that reservoir. like it does not get replenished on a daily basis.
No, you're right.
He's
He's
working with a finite amount of happiness.
I have two buckets in my life:
Yes.
the happiness bucket and the other bucket,
Well, no.
and they're not the same
The
size.
happiness, the happiness bucket is like a glass
cup.
of water.
Yeah, it's a
It's
cup.
this coffee cup.
And the other bucket is like the LA River.
Yes,
There's
like
nothing in the
the bottle of Arrowhead water
yeah.
you get out of a vending machine, and then the 5-gallon jug that's in your office. This is my misery bucket, and this is my happiness bucket.
Stay
and
in the happiness
my
bucket.
bottle is. I am.
Enjoy the last
very
meal.
pleased. It
Yes.
was great.
So last
It was
night
great.
they went full on bullpen game. I thought it was done very, very well. Every right move was made correctly at the exact right time in my mind.
Yeah, Dave.
I know you don't agree with some of the
No,
moves
it's
like
not
Kopech,
that.
but
There wasn't a hard decision to make.
There
Everybody
was-
pitched great.
Yeah, they all pitched great. But okay,
when
so with
everything
that,
goes
But
according
you don't
to plan,
know that they're going to pitch great
I
until they
understand.
do it.
I understand that. I'm not saying that the guys didn't pitch great. They did. What I'm saying is where it gets tricky is, hey, this guy's not giving me what I need. Do I go get him now? Do I let him roll? They had a lead and everybody pitched well. So
This was an easier night for him.
This
Yeah.
was the perfect night for them because it was Okay. The plan that we talk about, DeMarco?
Yeah.
That this guy to this guy goes here, this guy gives me the X amount of outs, this guy gives me X amount of outs. Everybody did exactly what you were hoping they would do, and it was executed beautifully.
Easy to be a coordinator when every play you call works.
That's it. Every play that you ran worked.
Okay, but you were a pitcher, and going up and down, that's not easy to do. That's not something that relievers do very often. And these guys, there's 3 or 4 of them went up and down.
They did a great
Phillips.
Job. This gets to the whole question of how much credit and or blame a manager or a coach deserves in any context.
I agree. We're going right back into it.
No. Not going into.
You don't want to give him credit?
Okay.
No. I'm not talking about the credit thing or whatever. But when Travis,
does Pete Rose belong in the Hall of Fame?
Yes, he does. Yes, he's the hit king.
No, he does not. By the way,
he does. Just say everything on his plaque. Just write out everything.
No Hall of Fame
as
for him.
long
He's
as
dead.
we start with the haircut, he can, and whatever comes after that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter now.
It's not a hall of awesome people because he's not a good person. Was not a great person.
No, he's a great ball player.
Hall of barbers.
What?
Hall of barbers.
Barbers.
The point I was getting at is you were saying it's easy to make these decisions when everything goes right. Or Marco was saying it's easy to call plays when they're all working. That's true. Except you don't know the result that it's working until it happens.
Yeah.
You still have to make the decision that empowers the person to make the plays. And that's the whole chicken egg thing in terms of how much does the manager coach actually
You're giving
matter.
Dave credit is what you're saying.
Yes,
okay.
full credit.
But are you taking away credit from Dave?
Absolutely not.
You're
Absolutely
not, right?
Well, Travis doesn't deserve it.
Wait.
Established
Did I get into the reservoir?
No.
Yeah, you are going to the reservoir. I banned the Dave Roberts conversation for the last
DeMarco,
hour.
Did you really?
I
My bad.
think this is a compliment to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think this is.
Yeah.
When you get a sack,
yes,
I'm giving you the credit.
Yes. When
you get beat on a play, I'm going to blame you for getting beat on the play. I'm not giving the coordinator the credit. I'm giving you the credit. I'm going to give the pitchers last night credit. I'm going to give the hitters last night credit. I don't think that Dave Roberts' series of decisions matters all that much, for the better or for the worse. I think it has a lot more to do with the performances on any given night. What's happening is their best guys played like their best guys. They got really good pitching last night. So my Dave Roberts thing, in a nutshell, has nothing to do with should he or shouldn't he pull this guy? Should he move this guy to this spot or this guy to that spot? It's what is the end result, and are you getting the same thing over and over again? We'll see. We'll see. So that's not today's conversation. Today's conversation is what's coming next.
Right.
And by the way, the amount of people that stepped up last night was terrific. They had just a laundry list of guys. Really, everybody did.
Except for CT3.
Well, is 4 strikeouts
Leave him
bad?
alone.
A golden sombrero is not what you want in a playoff game.
1 strikeout per time he moved positions around the field. Every time he struck out, they moved him over.
Nature likes symmetry, and nature thrives on symmetry.
Circle of life.
All right, so what do you do on Friday? Do you go with the bullpen? Because everything is available. They go bullpen game.
Yep.
Do you go Yamamoto or do you go Flaherty? Because I know where I go.
Where do you go?
Bullpen game.
Bullpen game?
Again, yeah,
We were just
I do.
talking. Did you make a choice yet on who you would go with, or are you going to save it?
I mean, I think there's...
Put your name on it, DeMarco.
No, we were just... I said go with Yamamoto.
I think you go with Yamamoto. You're paying him $300 million. You're not paying him $300 million not to pitch the biggest game in 5 years.
I wish I could start Bueller.
The last time, this was the point that I brought up, that the last time we had a situation where a guy was tipping pitches was in 2017 when Yu Darvish was tipping pitches, and they brought him back to. Yeah, there was trash cans too. We established that, but then in Game 7, he was knocked out in the second inning once again. It didn't matter about the tipping of the pitches, whether or not they had trash cans, whatever. But this kind of feels the same way. Bring him back. It's not saying don't. I would just want to win this game.
Sure.
You pitch him again in the NLCS, in the World Series, if you get to those places. I don't have a problem with him pitching again. The problem is that he gives up home runs. Jack Flaherty gives up home runs. You know what the bullpen didn't do last night?
Give up home runs.
And you know what they also did? They struck guys out.
Yeah.
There's nobody in this series.
So you want to see bullpen
They didn't walk
guys.
anybody.
Yeah.
They struck guys out to the team that came into this series as the best team in baseball in not striking out.
Travis, you said something interesting with Yamamoto. They're paying him $300 million. Given where they are right now, should that even be a consideration?
No. The answer to your question is no, but this is what this man is here for. This
is why they paid you.
This is the guy that is
not against
theoretically
this team.
of the people that you have available, he's your best guy. Now, he may not be your best guy tomorrow, but he's your best guy. Just stuff to stuff, the possibility of getting length, the possibility, Greg, of doing what you're talking about, striking guys out, just wiping guys out. He's your best bet for that. And so we'll see.
We're absolutely getting hammered.
There's some variables that factor into this, but I don't really think it matters if he starts for me, because I think everybody's going to pitch. I really do think it's one of these all hands on deck.
100%.
Whether it's Yamamoto first, whether it's Flaherty first, whether it's an opener first.
Ohtani?
I think you're going to be Ohtani.
No Ohtani. Cutting it off.
No.
Let's just assume it's a 9-inning game.
Dr. Neal said no.
It hasn't happened yet, but you could get in a situation where you have an extra inning game and you can't prepare for it necessarily, but at least has to live in the back of your memory. To just go a guy an inning is a bit of a risky proposition. First of all, you're throwing the dice 8 or 9 times. That's a big deal. You're going to have somebody that can give you a little length. Yamamoto's your best bet at that length. I think he goes first, but there are a million little branches off the trunk of that tree that could make you change your mind.
Sure. It's also, would you rather have Flaherty giving you that length? Would you rather have,
I think
because Flaherty pitched better than Yamamoto.
They both pitched poorly.
Okay.
Quite frankly, neither Yamamoto was bad and Flaherty was barely not bad.
And we saw
what it was.
Barely not bad.
He was just he
like
passed the
about
class.
softball team.
He got a C-.
He went into the 6th inning.
Yeah.
He went into the 6th
She
inning.
wasn't
He got him out in
bad.
the 6th inning.
She was barely not bad. That's good.
We have seen what happens when you get an early lead, when you can have that shutdown inning at the beginning of the inning. If you go 1, 2, 3 and don't let the Padres score in the first inning, it can change the entire game. So if you can shut it down with a bullpen at the start, maybe you
shut it down and get a lead.
And then get a lead right afterwards.
Yeah.
If you see those things, Yamamoto has not gotten out of the first inning without giving up runs in Korea or in the playoffs. It's just this team. So I'm only against Yamamoto starting against the Padres, not against the Mets, not against whoever comes out of the East. It's just against the Padres. He cannot pitch well against the Padres, it seems.
I would be shocked if you don't see him pitch tomorrow.
Well, he'll pitch at some point.
That's then pitch him first.
You just said don't
if
start.
Don't start him. I don't start him.
I think to Travis's point, though, if you're going to pitch Yamamoto as somebody that you're not feeling great about him against this particular team anyway, for whatever reason, you might as well put him in his comfort zone. Like
and if he does, mess
Where's
it up.
the leash? Where's the leash?
As soon as he gives up
a hit.
No,
he gives up 2 hits. What if he gives?
What does it look like?
2 runs.
So in game one, it was a hit, and then it was a wild pitch, and then it was a pass ball, and it went first and third.
Treat him like Cease yesterday.
You're doing the thing that I think the Dodgers
but it wasn't
too
much damage. It wasn't too much damage though. By the time they took Cease out,
I agree.
It was about 3 runs.
But that's not a Cease thing. That's everything that happened afterwards thing. The point is the game was still winnable for the Padres when Cease got pulled.
You can't make your decision before you see what's happening. You have to play that. If he's gave up a run because there was an error and a ground ball that went through the 5.5 hole, that's not getting lit up. If he gives up 2 doubles in the gap, get him out.
If you pull him after a hit, you're panicking.
No, you can't do it.
There has to be.
You mean a run, right? A couple of runs.
Run.
Yeah, not a hit.
Is it runs like Buehler gave up? Because if it's runs like
Buehler
gave up, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you can't say this amount of runs he comes out. It has to matter what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. But I would just say if you're going to pitch Yamamoto at all, pitch him where he's comfortable.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it wasn't whose fault?
It wasn't Buehler's fault that happened.
It was.
That was not Buehler's fault.
Swing and miss. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Throw a strike, dang it.
You're supposed to be the positive guy.
I'm kidding. I'm having fun with this.
Honestly,
I saw what I saw with Yamamoto in game 1. I saw what I saw with Yamamoto in Korea. That was a long time in between.
You don't trust.
He was hurt in between. I don't trust him. I don't, and it's just against the Padres.
You don't believe in the do theory? I've been pitching the do theory for a while. What Mookie? We said the do theory. He's due. He's swinging a hot bat.
Okay, there's that, or it's Mookie Betts is one of the best baseball players on the face of the earth.
But he's due. He's due. Yamamoto's due.
So Mookie Betts, even in this series, you have to take it series by series. Over the last few years, he was 0 for 22 coming into the series. He was on base 3 times in game 1. He missed a home run in game 2 by an inch that was stolen. So
heck of a play.
He looked like he was on it. He was
almost
on
got robbed
base.
again.
Yeah, and he almost got robbed again.
Yeah.
He should have had 3 home runs in his first at bat in 3 straight games.
But he was due.
Mookie was always fine. People just overreacted because of what happened in the past.
True, but he was due. Maybe Yamamoto has his best stuff. Look, all your worries and concerns are warranted. And
everybody's going to pitch.
Everybody's going to pitch. This is all hands on deck.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter which guy goes first. Everybody's on deck for this one.
It matters for him, though.
I
think it matters for him. He is a starting pitcher that has a routine, and every one of those guys, other than Flaherty, can almost pitch whenever you need them. They're used to coming in as needed. Yamamoto is not an as-needed guy. He is I show up at the ballpark at this time. I warm up like this. I pitch like he is. Starting pitchers are creatures of habit.
What was that nutcase? I forgot his name. The guy couldn't pitch away from home. At home, he was dominant. Carlos Martinez.
Oh,
at home, dominant. On the road, sucked. Why? Routine.
Hotel beds.
Are you guys that weird?
Alex Wood was kind of like that with the Dodgers too.
Yeah. Distracted him.
Might have been, right?
I wonder if there's something
he may have had trouble sleeping in a bed, but not the hotel bed.
Home lights out. Away your garbage.
What do I do on the road that I'm not doing at home?
That's so weird.
He's talking about sex.
You can just spell it out. All right, guys.
How about Dave Roberts? What do you guys think about
that? No, I banned it.
You banned the Dave Roberts talk?
I banned the Dave Roberts talks for the last
The
45
guy wins
minutes.
and you ban the talk.
No, we were
he
arguing.
loses, you bash him for 3 hours. He wins, we can't talk about it.
No, we were talking about it was always what he did has been great in this year. I have never changed in this series that Dave Roberts has been great.
That's not fair.
He's been great.
He loses, you bash the crap out of him. He wins, we can't say a word
Bergman
about
also
it.
doesn't deserve Dave Roberts. I laid out a list of folks at this station who don't deserve Dave Roberts.
Oh, no.
No, Marco, you deserve Dave Roberts.
Yeah,
I deserve
you
Dave.
deserve
Okay,
Dave
thank
Roberts.
you.
Everybody in Los Angeles is on the same
You know what
list.
we deserve, Greg?
There were a lot of people
World
actually.
Series championship.
There
that's
you go,
exactly
and a
what we
parade.
deserve.
That's what we deserve.
Yes.
A parade, a cold beer shower,
A bunch of
something
them.
like that.
Yes.
All right. You guys can get into all of that. Greg Bergman, Andy Kamenetsky, Travis and DeMarco coming up next.
You never have to miss a moment of